Header. We're live here at the International 2015, bringing you the final match of the day here on stream number 2. Vici Gaming will be the next team on the docket, and boy oh boy did they look good. 2-0 and dismantling a Team Empire that only a few months ago took care of them at D2CL, but times have changed. It's a new day, and Vici Gaming, they look hot coming in. They sit atop the group. It's very early, but with 3 points, while Hot6 at the bottom with 1 match played and 0 points to their name. With that said, I'm LD, and I'm joined here by Gods.
Well, this is going to be a tough one for Hot6. Every game in this group is tough for Hot6. They come into this TI as probably one of the biggest underdogs out there, even more so than like the wildcard team CDEC, maybe on a similar level to their counter team in MVP.Phoenix, but this is a team with their work cut out for them. They've come a long way from where they started. They're kind of one of the top dogs in SCA now, but this is a whole nother ballpark. And Vici Gaming, this team for a long time was the best team in the world, or at least considered that, when they went through a streak of just winning tournament after tournament, before kind of Secret's rise around the time of DAC. Since then, Secret kind of took over that title, but Vici Gaming are kind of back at TI without that target on their back, because it's Secret and an EG who most teams are looking out for.
And both of those teams already dropping a game. Neither will go undefeated. I actually was asked that question. Do you think anyone will go undefeated at TI? And I said if it's going to be someone, it's probably not going to be Secret, just because everybody's gunning for them coming into the event. But still, they could make a great run. It wouldn't shock me if Secret win like 90% of their games or more from here on out. But Vici Gaming, one of the few teams that has a chance at least to go undefeated. I doubt they will go undefeated, but they still look scary. And well, guys, let's start to talk a little bit about the draft and how you want to approach this one. Hot6, as you mentioned, coming as underdogs, so let's look at how they can match up against Vici Gaming here. Now, this is a team that has run almost everything. I think you look at some of the Chinese teams, and the rap on them historically, especially 6 to 9 months ago, was they're very predictable. They like to run the same types of picks, but Vici Gaming to me has always run against that grain. We saw them running Drow Visage a lot after TI. They ran the Tiny Wisp. They can do the dual roam strat with FY Fenrir, with like their Rubik Lina or Shadow Demon Leshrac. We've seen them go for the Super Dragon Knight at times, even playing Alchemist occasionally mid. Ice can literally play anything, and often does in the off lane. And you've got Hao, who likes to play aggressive. Gyrocopter, obviously a hero to his liking, but I mean, how do you begin against this team? Like, what's your first step?
Shaking my head. I think you're going to, as Envy would say, like, when you fall behind, you got to create chaos. I feel like Hot6 are already behind. They've got to go in planning to just create all kinds of mess and chaos. I was just about to say they probably have their fingers crossed they can get Bounty Hunter, because this is the perfect hero to create chaos with. He can cause problems in so many places around the map, and he's unpredictable. He's an X factor, and that to me is where, for Hot6 to stand a chance, it all comes down to Jarex. This is the guy who will roam around the map, get involved in a ton of early kills if possible. He has great, really clever rotations that teams just don't see coming, and Bounty Hunter suits that playstyle perfectly. The Urshika the last couple of games he's played, is a good hero that kind of suits him in his playstyle, but it's too passive.
Well, they got someone who's a bit more aggressive. They pick up the Tusk here for Hot6, but Vici Gaming immediately get their hands on the carry of the day, and perhaps will turn out to be the carry of the tournament, if not the entire patch at this rate. Gyrocopter, together with the Winter Wyvern, a hero that does it all. He can farm. With the Splinter Blast, he can protect his teammates early with the Cold Embrace. He can snipe couriers right off the bat with his first skill, the Arctic Burn. Later on in the game, he scales beautifully, courtesy of the ultimate. And even if his team falls behind, that really comes into play. He can really do anything. He can fight early. He can go late. Very strong support. I'm honestly a little surprised we haven't seen even more of this hero, considering nothing's really changed with him. But with that said, they get him off the bat. They used this earlier. I believe it was FY playing it in their second match versus Empire. And from the little bit I caught after our first series concluded, he was just making plays. Yeah. Winter's cursing 2 heroes and instantly getting a support killed. It's a tough support to play against.
Yeah. Hot6 pick up Lina now. I very much think this is the right approach to versing Vici Gaming. Go for tons of kill potential, fight a lot, just hope that you can get a lot of early kills and get to an early game advantage. If you fall behind against a team like Vici Gaming, you're done for. Hot6 just don't have the experience, don't have the players or the team fight to kind of turn things around. So they're going to be going very early game focused, very just like volatile, high burst damage picks, but also kind of like a glass cannon type strategy. When you've got Lina, you've got Tusk, you're looking for kills early. Would love to see them if Undying, something like Undying still in the pool, go for like a Tusk Undying, really strong dual off lane. Also kind of heroes that would suit Jerax's playstyle. You can kind of pair up with Sunby there, but we'll have to see what they plan on doing. They've run the Lina as a support for Jerax sometimes, but also a hero that MP can play in the mid lane.
Well, we didn't actually mention it. It is worth just pointing out for anyone who's not paying attention or hasn't really been looking at the initial bans. FY's Rubik got a respect ban in the first stage. That's not surprising.
Yeah.
It's not shocking given just how damn good he is at the hero, but at the same time, it leaves the pool wide open.
I think that was the plan. It was like a throwaway respect ban.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to ban an actual first two-pick hero, but they wanted to leave... I think they wanted to try and have Vici game. I don't know what they were thinking Vici would ban. It's kind of hard to say this early on, like while the meta is still developing for this tournament. But
they could have expected these bans. These are within the realm of reason as far as what might come out.
They wanted to like leave the pool really open in the hopes of getting that bounty hunter. But Vici's just like even if you pick bounty and we can get Gyro Tusk, we don't want to give you bounty. It's
also just a good hero. Like it's a good hero for making mistakes. You make mistakes, you can always catch up. You can dive and get kills. And Vici Gaming just want to play a crisp, clean game and just out-execute Hot6. So the Jerax Earthshaker will get banned now, and Vici Gaming going to work on their final ban of the second phase. Is Hot6 the ones to remove the clockwork? Can be really potent and irritating against the Lina, especially just to lock her down and prevent her from staying alive in fights. And also get rid of the Broodmother. Not a hero we've seen a whole lot of out of Vici Gaming, but the threat of a Broodmother pick is just you get a Brood pick in the game and you're not expecting it. Game can just as easily be over from the draft.
Yeah, I mean at this point you don't really know what's coming out for Ice. He's you mentioned his hero pool just so diverse, and he'll make just unconventional picks in the offlane somehow seemingly work. Like before Undying in the offlane was a thing, he was running it constantly. He's done Juggernaut in the offlane. He's done Riki. He's just done crazy unconventional things, and he's so good at creating space. So I could see both teams looking to fit in Undying to their draft. I think it's going to be probably picked up in this second stage by one or the other. But for now, Vici Gaming get their second support and take Dazzle.
Oh my god. Good luck killing anyone. You've got Dazzle and Wyvern on the same team. And I wouldn't even really say it's that defensive of a support duo. Like, they are very strong defensively, but they have offensive potential. Heal bombs can be very scary. Weave really comes into play later on. And Wyvern does a lot from the early levels as far as harassment and even kill potential with the Winter's Curse. So it's a support duo we don't see teams get very often, especially like looking at the Western scene when we were casting ES Portal coming into this event. If a team picked Wyvern or Dazzle and it wasn't like their first two picks together, the other would either get banned or immediately picked in the next phase by the opponent. Yeah, so going to be tough to get kills, but they do get the Undying that you mentioned.
This is a perfect pick for Hot6. Yeah, you've got to do this. I mean, Vici Gaming by no means is it like, oh, Hot6 in a great position. Vici Gaming, they've got Gyrocopter who matches up great against the Undying in general. He can just go in the tomb, use the flak to help deal with zombies, and you can bounce it off the zombies if you want. You've got the heals to also just sustain your team, but it's still just, it's chaos. That's what you've got to do against Vici Gaming. Just go for these kind of funky picks that can maybe just cause Vici problems.
I was going to say maybe to Hot6 consider a Bloodseeker, but Vici one step ahead of them there. If they pick him up, and he can cause fits for Undying. If Undying gets silenced, he goes from being almost impossible to deal with in a lot of cases to just easy food. That's what we saw a lot of Skywrath picks in the past were like one of the best ways to counter him.
Bloodseeker seems to be a hero that the Chinese teams maybe have been playing a lot in their scrims, because now IG as well as Vici Gaming have both run 2 Bloodseeker mid games, assuming this Bloodseeker's going mid. We've seen a couple games by Ferrari, super played it in game 2 against Empire, so something it seems they really prioritize maybe around this second pick stage, more so than some of the Western teams. So we'll have to see if that sticks, because what's going to come down to is that if teams have been scrimming each other, whichever one has the best results is going to become the more popular strat moving forward into the group stage in the main event.
Hot6 back off into a Bane here. They get great lockdown for the Seeker and a couple of ways to cancel his ultimate, but as a decent shot at getting it off here.
There's no real
Pretty tanky.
stuns out. I mean, there's the Winter's Curse, but that's a big ultimate with a decent sized cooldown.
And the Bloodseeker Silence. That's the two main ones to stop a grip.
But it's more also looking towards their last pick, whatever carry they want to go for. They can look to exploit the fact that Vici Gaming have very poor lockdown and control in these team fights.
And especially the early laning stage. That's where they're really vulnerable. What do you think here for Hot6? Do you expect the Lina mid at this point, it looks like?
Yeah, I think you expect the Lina mid, Bane, maybe the kind of safe lane zoning support, a Tusk Undying, and then you look for that +1 safe lane farmer.
So then you're looking for a 4-Ev hero. Now,
yeah.
We've talked about Drow Ranger. If you want to dominate the lanes, is that even a possibility here? They do have 2 melee heroes, which doesn't really help that much.
It just doesn't offer enough to the Undying Tusk. I'm trying to think, like, do you go for the hard carry or do you go for the constant fighting carry? And as far as aggressive fighting carries, I mean, the Juggernaut was one of his most played heroes for a long time.
Oh, jeez.
Zeus Bloodseeker. It's an offlane Zeus.
That's an Ice Zeus, looks like.
It's a great combo with the Bloodseeker. I mean, this is a great way to just give him all that thirst stacks, and you also buff up the Zeus's damage with the Bloodseeker. Even an offlane Zeus can cause all kinds of problems. So I think Hot6's last pick is going to be a early game strong laner, something that can fight a lot in the mid game, and maybe the one thing they're kind of lacking is a bit of tower pushing capability, so they get something with a bit of siege potential.
Yeah, I mean, not a Pugna. That is just way too squishy, it feels.
It does, but maybe that's the kind of all-in pick they need. I don't know. You're versing Vici Gaming, and
I'm just so scared of this Bloodseeker right now from Hot6.
So, yeah,
I was going to say, like, how do you kill Bloodseeker? Because he's going to get Graved, he's going to be Cold Embraced, he has Weave working for him. Of course, he can heal himself. But this could be a way.
They swap up the Zeus and Bloodseeker, it looks like. As Ice takes Bloodseeker.
That could catch Hot6 off guard. And they get the Storm, so this is their one big answer to the defensive supports. If he can jump somebody, if he gets ahead, he can just start picking off the Wyvern and Dazzle. But he's got to get there first.
Yeah, he needs a bit of farm. We asked the question, like, how do you take advantage of them not having lockdown? And Storm is one of the great answers, because as long as he's got mana, he's not going to get hit by the Bloodseeker Silence. He can use the Ball Lightning to dodge.
You don't take Rupture damage while you're balling, so it can be a solution.
It's definitely a good Storm game, but it's still a very scary Vici Gaming draft. I mean, both teams with scary drafts. Hot6, I think, have drafted really well this game. Early game execution is going to be what it comes down to.
Yeah, I like the fact that they pick strong lanes here, and they're going to look to take the fight here nice and early to Vici Gaming. So with that, gods, we get underway officially. Our first Vici Gaming appearance here on the second stream, and looking forward to what should be an excellent series. Vici Gaming moving as a pack of 3 up towards the top side of the map. We'll go ahead and introduce the players real quickly. It's going to be FY on the Winter Wyvern. Ice playing your Bloodseeker Super with the beautiful Zeus Immortal. He will be heading towards the mid lane, of course rushing the bottle, and just going to spam Chain Lightning until he farms it. How? Taking the Gyrocopter bottom, known in some circles as the Havost of the East. He loves to play aggressive, and much like Aggressive that we saw earlier, you can expect him to be always fighting Fenrir, last but not least on your Dazzle. And over on the opposing side, you've got MVP.Hot6, looking for at least their first game win, if not series win of the tournament. Jurex will be on the Tusk. Sunby playing the Undying, starts with the early Orb of Venom. It's Heen on the Bane, MP the Storm, and Forev the Lina. So they move as a squad of 5 in, and they look to drop some wards or at least find a potential kill. Sunby will plant the ward to the south of the camp. Nobody on the Radiant saw this one. And actually, gods, they don't have any sentries. Are they thinking of just leaving someone solo here, or did somebody save gold?
Looks like no one's actually really saving gold. I think they just realized it's not like a Tusk Undying lane is not something you necessarily want to really pull against. So
maybe you just sit back.
Oh, Hot6 want both runes. No Nightmare coming out onto Super. Almost contest the top rune as well.
And meanwhile, FY courier sniping already. Here we go.
It's often an unconventional place, though.
Boots and level 1 Arctic Burn. We've seen this a lot from the CIS teams, as they just love to go for it.
I don't think he's going to stay around. He'll see MP started with Tengos. Normally you have just the 2 pulled Tengos and you buy a salve, but when you've already got a set of Tengos, you don't really need more regen on top of that.
I'm loving what Heen's doing here, by the way. Just running around harassing. He's already forced out 1 Zeus Tango and tries to at least get something going early. He's looking for his own courier snipe, but he has been scouted.
Yeah.
As FY just sits back, the bottle for MP won't come soon because he started Magic Wand.
Yeah, he can see the starting item. He's probably just waiting around for a gank opportunity now at this point because he knows he should know the courier's not coming for some time, and he's going to go in and harass.
Yeah, maybe a little harass. Yeah. Probably not going to get the kill here. Yeah, just a little chip at MP, and FY will back off. So tries to secure the early bottle and slow the lane down a little bit, but not going to see too much more after that. So. Talk to me about Tusk Undying. This is a scary-looking lane on paper.
Oh. Not going to be a kill, but a lot of harass. The Nightmare, LSA, body blocking. I mean, this lane's just... You lose your HP from Decay, and then once they feel you've lost enough HP, they snowball in. If you get like 2 Decay stacks even onto a Gyrocopter, you can snowball him, drop a tomb next to him, and with the zombie slow, he's just done for you.
They can go for Ice Ice Ice. He's got to be careful. And FY went for Arctic Burn, so he's no defensive capabilities. There's the snowball forward. Hal trying to engage. Oh, now he initiates after the Ice Shards. But they don't really have much creeps to take this one. They still die. Fenrir and Hal might both go down. It's MVP.Hot6. First and second blood. Both to them. They may have started off in an 0-2 performance, but they come out hot here versus Vici.
This is, I think, currently the strongest dual lane in the game. As far as the dual off lane goes, Tusk Undying is as powerful as it gets. When this combo hits level 2, you're powerless. Even a Gyrocopter, Rocket Barrage against melee heroes. It should be fantastic, but not when
you can
die.
Snowball,
yeah.
you dodge the damage, you've got Decay, so you're tankier, and...
You split it between 2 heroes as well, so it kind of accounts for it, and it's still like a level 1 Rocket Barrage this early on.
And they're 2 strength heroes as well. That's worth mentioning, too.
Oh, Wyvern wants the courier, but it's headed east. Really nice micro coming out from MP. He knows what's going on.
They've seen this before. I mean, it's at this point, it's a pretty common tactic, I would say, is for a lot of Wyvern players. So FY thwarted, known for his playmaking abilities on support, but not off to a hot start here. And also on top of it, gods, they're getting out farmed. You look at the cores of Hot6, MP 17 and 2 mid. Now, generally Zeus not known for his lane control, but considering the pressure on this lane, he's doing just fine. And then you've got the Lina of 4 of top, 19 and 5. Really shutting down Ice 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 with the help of the Bane. So all 3 lanes currently being won here by MVP.Hot6.
The other kind of cool, important thing Sunby did on the Undying was he got the Orb of Venom, like as a starting item as well. This adds additional slow, makes it impossible for the Gyrocopter. Even with boots, you're dealing with zombies slowing you down, Ice Shards blocking you, snowball stuns, and now Arcane Boots come up. This lane is lost.
They're going again. Oh, didn't quite catch how where they wanted him. Time to try lane.
You have to, and I think they kind of
even
lose 3v2. The big thing is you have to split up. You can't let him get multiple heroes in a Decay. As I say that, 2 heroes get caught by Decay, but
it's pretty hard to dodge, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the other issue is that you get under-leveled here. Jerax is level 3. He's a bit low, but he's going to snowball with the Tombstone drop. They try to focus it. Everybody at once. Oh, man, they killed that fast. Good focus fire from Vici, and they will kill off Jerax. That was exactly what they needed. And if it was a level 2 Tombstone, I think it's a different fight, gods. But in a 2v2, you generally don't worry about them right-clicking the Tombstone down. But went for that second point in Decay, and the surprising move of FY into the lane catches them a bit off guard.
Yeah, he was, I guess, just not expecting FY there because that was a like half HP Tusk running directly into a poor position. And he had to stay in the snowball at the same time. By staying in the snowball, it meant the Tombstone immediately got brought down. So just smart laning from Vici Gaming. I think MVP.Hot6 had the advantage even in that 2v3, but Vici Gaming just outplaying them.
Well, what started as, I mean, it was a 1,500 gold lead. Remains there despite the kill. Sure, they end up getting the kill bottom, but that was the 3-hero rotation, and all the while, top lane was completely abandoned. Ice 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 has just gone to the jungle. Something you generally don't see outside of pubs from the Bloodseeker, and, well, not getting a whole lot of farm here. As MP gets harassed, they're looking for the Splinter Blast. They almost had to follow a Bolt to come through, but Super a bit low on the mana.
Yeah, and they
Can't quite do it.
and they basically tell Ice Ice Ice, you go to the jungle, we're going to pressure your tower. They get a lot of damage on there, and Ice 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 is forced to rotate back up here, so just to kind of keep this tower alive and draw aggro off the tower when possible. He doesn't want to give up a tier 1 this early on, and Forever with Soul Ring will just keep spamming out nukes and applying pressure here.
Well, Hot6. They had a nice start. Let's see if they can keep it up. Decay comes out. Jarek's really hurting from this flak harass from Hao, who just completed his phase boots. May even want to consider... I guess he goes for the Tranquil boots here, but it almost feels like he could use a Stout Shield as well. As top lane, Ice 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 gets... heavy dose of harassment from Forev. He's almost got Laguna. And with that early Laguna, they will certainly be looking for some quick kills. MP, he's seen an opening. He makes a go on Super here. He does have a point and pull, a ball forward. He keeps on dodging away from potential nukes, and he gets the solo kill. Well played by MP. No Bloodseeker rotation. He's sitting back mid on low HP. That was a great play. And now Hal may be punished bottom. He will. MVP.Hot6. Gods, you wanted aggression, and you're getting it everywhere you turn. Tower diving and just endless pressure.
Such a good answer, too. They see the TP mid. They have that ward on the high ground at mid lane in a kind of funky place. There's no sentries yet to deal with any wards, but you see the rotation. You know Jara's alone. Then you go on him, and at that point, once he's alone, if you get him with a snowball, you've got more than enough damage to bring him down.
And 4F has, in fact, hit level 6, as mentioned. He was very close earlier. The ward mid is good, and also the ward bottom. Vici, they didn't start with any sentries. That's pretty unusual nowadays. So it's seen the supports moving around here in the jungle, and it notices when they're missing. Allows them to just play the other lanes a bit more accurately. Now they get the Tranquil Boots on Jerax. That'll be a nice pickup versus the Phase Boots Flat Cannon. Look for the jump here. Hal's got to be careful. Decay comes out. Tombstone's almost ready again, and every time this puppy is up, you better believe Hot6 are looking for the dive.
Oh, yeah. Fenrir's back bottom. Hot6 spotted him, but as the ward expired, and Fenrir actually pinged it out a bunch, saying, oh, there was a ward here, as you see the little ward explode. So both teams kind of know that the Dazzle's at bottom lane. And
they are definitely baiting this. They want the jump on Hal to come, but I mean, they're going to need a really good combo here from Super to prevent the decay stacks, the heal from coming out and turning this fight.
They haven't seen the Zeus at bottom lane yet. They kind of know who's rotating now.
But the Sigil scouting, they might just lose Jerax. That wouldn't be too bad if he's the only one who drops here. He snowballs in. Sunbee wants to go. He's going to deploy the Tombstone in a pretty good position way back, and they're engaging past Fenrir onto Hal. They're going to lose one for this. And that's it. I thought maybe he would try to go, but he's just a bit too low on HP.
I think Undying should have just bailed. He's going to give them a bit of 2 money here as well, which is not the end of the world, but still like a good 100 or so, 125 gold.
I mean, that's definitely the play if you're Vici. You got to send a ridiculous number of heroes and just burst somebody down in that door.
No, that was a good move. Undying going to just need to regroup, and once again...
they got Ice. This should be an easy Laguna takedown. Yeah. There's your brain set. Follow-up auto attacks, and down he goes. Hot6 still finding the kills, and they're doing it with 2 or 3, not 4 or 5, which seems to be what Vici Gaming have to resort to now. So as a result, the graph continues to climb. A 4K gold lead, a 2K experience lead, and an immediate smoke gang coming out, not scouted by a Radiant Ward, and they wrap around towards bottom, looking for Fenrir. This will be a 3-hero fight potentially, but the zombie a bit far away to follow this one up. They may want to wait until he pushes this lane out.
Yeah, unless they can find a quick pick-off, maybe they'll feel like they can kill Fenrir quickly before he pops.
It's only a level 1 pull, but with the stun, I think they got him. Fenrir pulled in, can't grave. Down he goes. MVP. Just dive after dive after dive.
I was just about to say, how is trapped here? They can just go in for him.
And they were scouting with the Sigil. They were ready to roll on him. So he just backs off as Heen moves in. He, I believe, has been scouted. The ping comes out from Super, but we are not seeing a Bloodseeker Zeus offensive duo right now. They are running tail tucked between their respective legs for their dear lives and not farming much either. When you look at the CS here, it's only the Gyrocopter who's getting a whole lot done.
Yeah, they're... At some point, Zeus does just need to farm a bit. He actually kind of struggles to move around the map and gank because of his lack of mobility, but he needs to just keep things stable for his team. He can't afford to be like not getting farm and also not getting kills in this bottom lane.
There is a Radiant lane war, but they didn't see MP walk up from the river, and he's going to engage onto Fenrir. No, he decides to go on Hao instead. No Winter's Curse just yet, so they can't really punish him, but they drop the Tombstone to forward position. Fortunately, that's a very highly level Tombstone as they engage onto Super. The Bloodseeker Silence coming out. It will catch Heen. Maybe they've gone in too far. This may end poorly for MVP. They're also fighting away from the Tombstone, and they need the help of the zombies to turn this fight. They don't have the Lina either, who's only now moving in. Not the best execution, and Vici Gaming clean up 3 kills, and that will be a very large chunk of the lead that Hot6 had worked so hard to grab, going right back the other way.
They just kind of played with their food for too long. It was the Storm who was like, okay, we're going to... Like, he made it very clear they were going to commit. He had the Haste Rune who was bowling, using his mana, I mean, in pretty effective ways to do damage, but it was slow damage over time while he was waiting for his team to catch up, and Vici just say, all right, they're committing to this, but they're not going to kill us that quickly, so let's just make sure we bring everyone kite away from the Tombstone. And very straightforward fight for them with the Bloodseeker TP in, because they were so far away from the tower, Lina couldn't get there in timely fashion whatsoever.
And the lane ward did help. It didn't actually see the storm, but it saw the other heroes moving in. So they all began to rotate. They get there in time. They actually tried to de-ward. They figured there was some vision in the area, but just a bit off the mark for Hot6. This could be trouble for FY, though, guys. No TP. Sigil doing its work. Oh, this is not good. Run.
Once you're scouted, you're like, there's no point hiding there. You just run and hope there's not someone flanking you, which...
They may lose another tower. Hot6. Their towers haven't been scratched in comparison. Mid, almost full HP. Top, not even touched. And the same for bottom. They are going to have that gold advantage, and they are looking for kills here. There's the sleep to start. FY tried to get away with the Arctic Burn, but not going anywhere. Laguna even committed. Don't think they needed that one. And again, the Tombstone in a very forward position as Sunby takes the lion's share of the rocket barrage. Will end up falling. That was, again, a bit of a sloppy dive from Hot6, and trading 1-for-1 when you're this far ahead doesn't quite feel worth it.
Yeah, they need to position the Tombstone just by their heroes, because once they put the tomb there, if they want to continue to fight, they have to kind of move forward and be right next to the tomb. But their heroes are so far away from the tomb, it's very easy for Vici Gaming to commit, get a counter kill, and kind of happily go in their way. It's still counter kills not on key heroes. Both Lina and Storm are topping the net worth charts, both going for Bloodstones and very close to these items. And considering the lack of control on Vici's side, this is... I feel like these two heroes can just really take control of this game, and it's going to be very hard for Vici to find kills on them.
Do you like the... So you like the double Bloodstone? You don't think it's too greedy to go for two of these? No Yules, no Orchid, no control, really?
I think it's okay. You've got plenty of control coming out from the Bane and the Tusk, and it just kind of... It allows them to exploit, especially if they want to snowball. So if they get to a point where they keep finding a few kills, Lina and Storm aren't likely to die. I mean, they may lose the Tusk, the Undying, and trade 2-for-2, 3-for-3, whatever. But once they get to a point where there's a lot of Bloodstone charges, you then can abuse the short respawn on these two heroes. So it can theoretically give them 2 lives around like the 25 to 30 minute mark of the game, where they can use that to their advantage.
All right. Well, they're certainly ahead and trying to get even further ahead as the game progresses. But Vici Gaming, again, the 5-hero train down the bottom lane. They just look to do with numbers what they can't with 1v1 punching power, bringing in the whole squad. And they use the Zeus ult to get some vision here. Immediately, Jarex gets ruptured. He can snowball this, and he will. And it should be a long-range snowball, I believe, heading onto Super here. Oh, no, actually onto Ice Ice Ice. And that's going to hurt us. The Gyrocopter ultimate is combined with a Bloodseeker Silence for 2 instant and easy kills. They're just getting picked off. They are not prepared for these constant 5-man goes from Vici, and they are paying the price, gods.
Yeah.
That's like the 3rd or 4th time they've pulled that trick on MVP.
Vici Gaming just with a very good understanding of the nature of this game. They're behind. They have to 5-man. They can't just keep sending 1 to 2 to 3 heroes, whatever it may be, towards the bottom lane. Otherwise, they're just getting picked apart by the Undying, the Tusk. And as much as Undying is a great early game hero for like big kind of 3v3, 4v4 fights at level 1 fights for runes. Once you get to this point, if you can burst him down, you burst the Tusk down, you can take the 5 heroes, you'll bring down that tomb in no time at all if they're not being dealt with.
And on top of that, he's getting silenced or zoned out, so he's not able to really level up stack up the decay. He still doesn't have any points in Soul Rip. It's just a tomb, and when they're all full HP, it's not really that scary.
Yeah, and Vici Gaming just know it's not 5 heroes.
And again, Storm is not here. They're fighting without the full squad.
Same
once
story.
more. Heen getting ruptured. He could not be Winter's Curse. That's not available anymore. But Ice Ice Ice, with a lot of move speed, thinks about moving towards bottom. They are farming MP. If they can do that and not die, that is good for MVP. But it just feels like if they keep on doing that, you know, they're walking next to the lava. It's a very narrow walkway. At some point, somebody's going to fall in and they're going to get burnt.
Yeah, it still feels like Hot6 are in a decent position. It's very much just momentum is in Vici's favor. They figured out the answer to what Hot6 are doing right now in the short term. Whether that's going to stay the case once Hot6 get their Bloodstones online, once they decide to maybe fight more as 5, we'll have to wait and see. It's still Hot6 who have the advantage overall as far as farm goes. Their 2 big cores are doing really well, but they're also not 2 big cores who scale well into the late game. They haven't got physical damage. I mean, Lina can kind of build physical damage. both heroes are great late game heroes in their own merits because of the way they can
They wanted
itemize,
FY, but they couldn't get vision on him, and now the cooldown's going to come through.
Oh, great
Sunby
curse.
held in position by the curse, easily brought low, but not finished off. He's able to back off, gets out the tombstone. Now Halgrave trying to retreat his way out of here. He has no TP mana, but he has the stick charges. They continue to keep him alive, and finally he falls. Sunby surviving a one auto attack as Ice sprints away. He's going to make his way out of this one. Can't believe it, but somehow he did. In the meantime, MP finds a solo kill on the top side of the map, and they're still diving bottom. The snowball in. They bring down 3. That's what I'm talking about, MVP.Hot6. They get some much-needed kills, the momentum back their way, and they may get 2 towers out of this. Top tower in deny range now.
Chaos. I don't know how to describe what just happened. That was just absolute mayhem in different places of the map. You have like a completely
not done yet.
crazy fight going on. Whoa.
There's a tier 1 up here. No fiend script though. He slept,
Like
but that's gonna be it.
A TP. Okay, no TP's coming to back him up. So
yeah, it was just MP getting back towards the well. He was pretty low after that dive top.
Forev also had his Bloodstone for that fight, so he's up to 10 charges already. And
oh, that's fast.
I mean, at this stage, it's like an instant respawn when you're level 10. So
not to mention the heal, especially against a Zeus, can be and a cooldown. Potentially can be really big. If you're getting close to dying, you just get off that suicide, it really can make a difference.
Often you see the Shadow Blade pick up after. Yeah, he's got the amulet. This is kind of the... It's kind of like a pubby build, but it works really well a lot of the time. You can use the Shadow Blade as a great initiation.
It's really scary, and it gives you a lot of damage, especially once Fiery Soul is maxed. You cannot underestimate Lina's physical damage output.
It's really good against like heroes who can... Like, if you go for the Yules, it can get countered by BKB, some heroes with escapes. And you know Gyro will be going for that BKB. With the Shadow Blade initiation, it forces out sentries, gems, and already poor supports are going to be forced into spending more money on detection they probably weren't really interested in buying.
He tried to split push top. He goes under the Cold Embrace, but they continue to nuke him down, and they will get another kill on MP, whose Bloodstone was en route, so he doesn't actually get it. Meanwhile, Super zapped by Forev. The kills start to pile up again here for Hot6 Gods as they continue to pummel Vici Gaming. Now right back to a almost 5K gold lead, experience again going their way, and this time they have the Bloodstone. So now Vici, they just got to stop making these mistakes.
They need to go back to 5-manning a bit more. Maybe not necessarily 5. It was kind of like a group, maybe more like a 4-1 split with Ice soloing top and the other 4 fighting and having him TP in if needed. They need to stay grouped up. Otherwise, they're just going to get picked apart by Storm, by Lina, and even Tusk with a lot of pick-off potential if he's paired with someone else on the team. But problem is, Hot6 have kind of figured out that's the general game plan, and they're just playing a bit more cautiously with when they go for pickoffs.
And they're also just getting tankier through levels, through additional skill points. Oh, top lane, MP.
This is a deniable tower. I mean, even if it gets
it's been deniable. I don't know if it's worth the risk here. This is a big kill to give up, but they're bringing in the whole gang. Oh, MP, he gets cursed, put under. Now the silence is going to kick in. He can Bloodstone deny potentially, or the sleep deny. They get nothing. He ends up going down. Heen will be next, it seems, with 5 on the hunt.
Yeah, big kill.
Oh, and they didn't get the tower either, Gods. There's still a glyph. They may not even let this thing drop just yet.
Yeah, they can kind of use it as bait even in some ways, which it kind of acted as there. Like, you have a tower, it's in deny range, the other team just becomes more inclined to push.
I think Forev was even scouted moving in. His Shadow Blade by that Radiant ward off in the jungle. The pings came out, and he is going to back off here. Back and forth game. This. I feel like I'm on a yo-yo right now.
Very much the nature of having like a Shadow Blade Bloodstone Lina is it can completely snowball out of control, or if Lina ever gets jumped on, it's just going to instantly die.
You can see Vici Gaming understand that they cannot give up this tower bid. They keep 5 heroes nearby. They also understand they can't be off on their own in the jungle, so they're playing this one rather defensively right now.
Yeah. As much as the nature of Lina at this point is you kind of go for solo pickoffs, she has to be very careful, and I think even prioritize more defensive play. They're going to go for Roshan. It looks like they had a medallion picked up already on the Tusk, so something they can do even without crazy physical damage. It's pretty early on in the game, and Lina, you start getting that Fiery Soul stack, so they'll be able to bring this down. An important item, I think, to probably give to the Storm at this point, just so we can play a bit more aggressive.
Speaking of items, just going to take a quick peek here while the Roche gets completed. So it looks like Super will go towards a Bloodstone of his own. We saw Ice go back for a Midas as the Thunder God's Wrath is deployed to scout the Roshan. Glimmer Cape is picked up by Fenrir, still finding decent farm despite how how rough the game began for him. And hell, it's continued to be pretty rough at that. So they are getting their items on Vici. Not quite on the level of what Hot6 have put together, but decent. Uh-oh, call-down's there, and this could be trouble. Oh, second one doesn't hit. They bait out the BKB. If they can just get out, this is a big win. That precious 10-second BKB charge down the drain. It's also on cooldown for about 75 seconds. And with that, this gives Jerax an opportunity to pressure mid, and I don't know that Vici really want to be fighting.
Yeah, the hard thing here for Hot6 is they have no map vision whatsoever. The D-warding from Vici Gaming, using sentries and even just the lightning bolt has been on point. Jerax.
Uh-oh. Got caught by the rupture, and with that, he'll forfeit his life dice. Doesn't even bother with the snowball.
It's really hard for them to play, like, so they're playing split up around the map, which I think is fine because they've got so many heroes with solo kill potential, or just like small groups of heroes who can find kills, but without map vision, it's something that can be very easily punished. We see it mid lane there with the kill on Tusk, and even Lina almost getting punished at the bottom lane. So MVP have to be careful they don't throw away this lead of theirs.
It basically feels like it's just a test of your prediction skills. Can you anticipate where the enemy will come? Do you have the map sense you need to pull this type of play off? And it's been hit or miss. Sometimes they're on the ball, sometimes they get caught. Vici Gaming still hanging in there as the lanes get pressured once more. We see Hot6 group up. They have a mech on Sun B, and they are thinking about the tower.
Looks like they may be considering just having a go at this with the Aegis.
Uh-oh. MP's been scouted here. Oh, he gets super. Pulls him in nicely. The Bloodseeker Silence is coming. He wants to get the hell out of that. They glimmer super, allow him to back off, but Hal's the one who gets caught. Laguna had him brought down. He had a 9-second BKB and couldn't get it off. Very nice combination play. They keep super alive. The chase continuing right onto FY. No cold embrace for himself. He used it on a buddy, and it won't matter as 3 drop to the onslaught. MVP, they are finding the openings, gods.
Yeah, they had the draft for it just to go for these aggressive plays, dominate the early game, and they have done so just perfectly against Vici Gaming. They, from start to finish, haven't given Hao any room or space to kind of gain any momentum in the safe lane. And the Zeus pick is one of those things I thought they were just going to run like more as a utility offlane Zeus, but put it in the mid lane, it's much more of a farmer, and that's something that Vici Gaming being punished for, not having a kind of a tempo controller mid for super that can fight early against such an aggressive lineup.
MP backing out as Hal TP's in. He wanted to bait them in and then just BKB and turn the fight, but MVP are wise to his tricks, and they're just going to back off. Go back to farming, continue their progression, and we have big items on the way. Forev, level 14 almost, and he's building towards the Axis. 2 components. FY, oh, you cannot leave your tier 2 like that, my friend. Down he goes, and next is going to be Fenrir, who gets stunned and zapped. Doesn't even need the actual Laguna. Vici,
you know, these aren't important heroes, but these are Bloodstone charges, most importantly.
And that's going to be another. It's super next. He takes the pain this time. It really feels like Vici are just not respecting Hot6 whatsoever, and they're paying. But now they do bait them in a bit too deep. Jerax maybe going to fall. Sunbeam drops the tombstone. Where's that mech? He didn't use it yet. He really should be popping it to remove.
He's holding his own.
Mech. Oh, he does, but it's too late at the end. They still get 5. It's a triple for Forev.
Forev was like 300 HP, Rupture, he's like, I'll just turn and fight, get soul ripped,
he's
heal
got
back
19.
up. And
he's got 19 Bloodstone charges, and MP still sitting on 12. They've got 31 Bloodstone charges between them. And what looked like it might be the beginning of a Vici Gaming comeback is very quickly turning into a complete rout. As Hot6, they take Vici Gaming to the woodshed here, gods.
This gets so tricky for Vici Gaming to play. Like, you can turtle high ground, but you just can get out farmed, and hey, you can just get jumped on. An Aegis Storm is something to be feared here as FY.
Uh-oh, that could be a decent Winter's Curse. The Zeus ult, not quite enough. Heen survives.
Soul Rip saves it.
Everybody backs off, and yeah, there's your Soul Rip. He will retreat successfully. Still the chase is on. That's a very fast Bloodseeker. 805 move speed. Uh-oh, this is the danger here. 1, 2. Oh, he jukes the stun. That's 2, and he's looking for more. Jumping out to 4 of MP, even engaging. He has the Bloodstone deny if he wants to try to heal up his friend. He's not doing it just yet. Forev will fall. That's a triple for Ice. It might end up being an Ultra, although it's going to take a lot of damage to bring MP low. The Ice Shard's coming through. Instead, Jerax will jump into the fray. Is MP going to try to fight this? I really don't think he can. Even with the second life, he's going to be 1v5. Lina's back, though. Maybe with the Lina. They jump onto Hao. He's kept alive by the Grave, as well as the Embrace. They have so many defensive abilities here, and they may go again. If the silence is timed just right, he's in a lot of trouble, and oh, he's able to ball out. Close call there for MP. Got a little bit over eager. Wasn't a total disaster. They didn't lose the 2 big cores, but they do lose an Aegis, and they give Vici Gaming a fresh breath of life.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's just what got them so far ahead. I mean, making those kind of plays.
I guess it was a total disaster, actually. That sure looks like one.
Yeah.
5K gold, 5K experience, and they actually lost the Lina, which she respawned so quickly I didn't even catch it.
It was the Aegis for MP at least. So one hero who didn't actually die there. The Aegis was about to expire. I was watching the timer like, oh god, is he gonna like die right after losing the Aegis? That would have been a total disaster. But I mean, for MVP, those are the kind of plays and aggression that got them this far ahead. So you can't blame them for continuing it. And it almost still worked out okay for them. A couple missed LSAs onto that Bloodseeker, which I mean, they're not really missed LSAs when he's got like 700 movement speed. But if one of those lands and you blow him up and he doesn't chase down all your heroes, you win that. You actually win that fight and you turn things around. So it almost works out perfectly. They've still got a lot of charges left on Storm as well as Lina's Bloodstones, both sitting on 12. So they're still sitting pretty good here.
And they have a Lina Ags as well, which means even through the BKBs of How as well as Ice, who got his pretty recently, they're not safe to run in. Most certainly not.
And soon to be level 16 on Lina, so that'll be a big damage. 675 to 950 is a big difference in the damage output.
Bloodseeker has 1,400 health.
Yeah.
That is... And in fact, it's enough to kill Fenrir from full HP.
Yeah,
he actually just dies instantly to that Laguna once it's level 3.
There's even a BKB Bloodseeker, you Laguna him, you've got lots of physical damage. Lina can right-click, Tusk can right-click. I mean, not lots, but you've got enough, with the Medallion especially. And this is a lineup which wasn't geared for having late-game right-click damage, but they can make things work.
Well, let's settle down now. It seems the team certainly want to. It's been 36 kills in 27 minutes, and it feels like 56 kills, to be honest.
Probably just thinking about the next Roshan here. They took the last outer tower there. Going to prioritize map control, something they have not really had all game long. At least it's map vision. They've had control in the sense that they've been postured so aggressively on the map, but right now they've got deep wards down in both mid and bottom lane as well as the Radiant jungle. So,
and they are keeping their farm up. Every hero on Vici is out-farming their counterpart.
Yeah. Vici are just forced to turtle up now, I think.
Or on MVP, rather, is out-farming their counterpart. And they haven't lost any towers. That gives them not only good deep wards for vision of the Radiant side, but they can project force anywhere on the map with ease, really. They can get to places quickly and keep the pressure up. For now, Vici just trying to do a bit of de-warding. One of the nice benefits of Zeus is the free True Sight that he gives. Vici Gaming going to sit back a little bit here and wait.
Hot6 are probably finding like, yeah, we've got some wards up, and then 2 just disappear instantly.
And there's just there's only so many aggressive wards you can place that aren't just easy D wards anyway. The best ones are all very commonly scouted, but Heen here, he's up on the high ground. Could there be a rupture against him? No, he glimmers instantly and is able to run away. Very nicely played. So they bait out the Zeus ult, and with that, no real chance Vici Gaming pushes.
Yeah. So at this point, Vici Gaming's options very limited. They smoked up, but they're not even going to make a move outwards, I don't think. They just... You see that, get the vision from the Thunder God's Wrath. That's where MVP are going to be like, okay, let's group up. Let's make sure they don't find anything off of the vision they just got. And for Hot6, they're more concerned about this Roshan respawn. They're going to keep tabs on when it happens, and then they're going to look to, once again, try and go for some big plays, go for some aggression. They haven't really got the ability to siege high ground too well with their draft, but very much so they want to just keep on scaling well into the late game by getting big items on Storm and Lina.
Oh, the ping comes out. JRX was thinking about a jump in with his Invis, but right as it's about to end, he backs off. And while that was happening, the Super just gets destroyed bottom lane. Shadowblade into a Light Strike array, and an easy solo kill for Forev. Keeps on finding him. 15k net worth. He's 8-1-5. Just everywhere this guy goes, destruction lies in his wake.
I mean, it's great to see like this. I mean, talking about like we've seen a lot of Gyrocopter, but it's been very much fighting carries. In this case, it's Alina, who you wouldn't even consider a carry, but you've got to have having a safe lane farmer who can fight, get tons of kills seems to be a big emphasis for all teams so far throughout TI5, apart from the couple anti-mage games here or there, and something I think we'll continue to see.
Well, so if you're Vici Gaming now, is there a key item here? Is there something you're waiting for, or is it just a Hot6 mistake? Is that what you're reduced to?
I think you're just looking to turn this game into a stalemate. I mean, it's kind of a Hot6 mistake, but at some point, if you're Hot6, it's like we have map control, we have Roshan, we're going to get more and more farm than them, but how do they actually push high ground? How do they win this game? And it's very difficult for them to do so with their draft. For Vici Gaming, there's no real risk of losing the game anytime soon if they stay on the high ground. At the same time, they can't just 5-man stay on the high ground for 30 minutes getting no farm whatsoever, so they have to be somewhat cautious that Hal maintains his item progression, the Zeus maintains his item progression, but if they can do that, like cautiously take what farm they feel is safe on the map while delaying the game, they're still looking okay. Even if this gold lead is going to probably continue to dip towards MVP.Hot6 because they have just more farm available on the map, but Vici Gaming's teamfight is very reliant on Winter's Curse.
Here comes the clash. They just took Roshan and they smoke. Wow. 2 smokes clashing in the night. Who gets the jump? The Zeus ult comes out. It just cooled down in time. And the Tombstone gets deployed in the middle of the fight as Hal looks to go to work. The Winter's Curse was nice, but MP is a little bit better. He does pop the Aegis, almost finishes off Super. They have lost 2 already to the Curse. Can they get more out of this Aegis? The ball pass Super. He doesn't want to actually drop his hero on top of him. He leaves a remnant in his wake, but they just need a hero to die already. Vici's so durable, so difficult to bring down. Ice retreating out. MP on the run. There's a rocket chase him. He's going to have to Bloodstone deny, I think, and he will. Forev, the last man standing. Another grave, another heal from the cold embrace of FY. Finally, they managed to find a kill on the gyrocopter. Can the auto techs get Fenrir slave stun?
Oh.
No, it was too late. How does Vici Gaming win that fight? That is a great curse and just so many freaking saves.
Yeah, they just prioritize the right heroes. They kind of accept the fact that Lina, Storm are probably going to kill a hero, maybe hero there.
Forev!
Wow.
Oh, it was so close.
That was...
That's just lucky for Ice.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
They Winter's Curse the Undying, he instantly gets blown up, and then they go for the Bane. They say, let's just kill these supports who can't really do much defensively. From there, we have to worry about the Lina, the Storm. And they did pretty well at that point without the utility items like the Glimmer Capes and just having the Soul Rip, the Guardian Greaves heal from the Undying. These heroes get a lot easier to deal with.
Well, tough fight for Hot6. They get Aegis. They're just brimming with confidence and like, let's just charge down mid, get those 2 kills, and then we high ground. So losing the Aegis, losing multiple heroes, losing the fight as well, and
such a positional thing where...
Another smoke. This is the last one for a long time for Vici.
Wow, they're going for it.
They're 11 minutes without a smoke. This one really needs to work, and they're looking for the opening. Zeus ult again providing the scouting knowledge that they need as Forev is the first man caught. He has a BKB, though. Quick TP out. There's no more ways to cancel this, but Sunbeam still gets caught. Not too bad for the last smoke for 11 minutes. They only lose the Undying.
Yeah,
I think that's much more acceptable, although the gold swing tells a slightly different tale. Almost 1,200 going for Vici again.
Yeah, that was okay, that one for Hot6. I mean, not having smokes means it's going to be a lot harder. The Zeus ulti giving vision for the Winter Wyvern just to find the perfect blink Winter's Curse is causing a lot of problems. That fight, it wasn't a perfect one because there was no one grouped up. They only found 2 heroes nearby. They couldn't really kill the Lina during the Winter's Curse. They just didn't have the follow-up, but... it at least forced defensive play from Hot6. So Vici Gaming forced a BKB TP. They also get the kill in the Undying, but at no point are they going to have a good answer to Storm. Winter's Curse alone is the summation of their lockdown, and Storm's just going to get tankier and tankier and scarier and scarier.
How's BKB is... Oh, well, Bane was moving.
Okay.
He went like, for the potential sleep, and Hal's just like, I don't want to be here.
Okay. Just cautious play. Shiver's Guard coming on MP. I think just recognizing the one problem for him is if he gets Winter's Curse and just brought down by the right-click damage or just damage in general, so he wants a more defensive tanky item rather than offensive Hex.
It's a pretty nice pickup. I still feel like for Vici it's mostly the magic damage, though. You're looking at the cooldown, the Zeus ult. The pipe will be so big if Sunbeam can farm it. Assuming he doesn't... It seems like he is the target for the Curse. Every fight, they just try to burst in, prevent the Tombstone, at least prevent the Greaves, and if he buys a pipe, it's just Vici have to go for him first, it feels.
And also something it's like one of those things like Weave, which you never really notice in a fight, is the Flesh Golem amplifying all the damage output coming from Hot6. That makes a big difference.
The slow really adds up as well.
Yeah, having like the Laguna Blade just buffed up, doing even more damage than it otherwise would, having all the damage from the Storm getting buffed up. It's something you just don't want to have to deal with for Vici Gaming, so I think Undying and Bane are the two big targets earlier in the fight, unless they can guaranteed kill off Lina with their initiation, which can only happen if they get off a fantastic Winter's Curse next to, like, at the same time, where's the right-click damage? You Winter's Curse Lina next to, like, 2 or 3 heroes. None of those 2 or 3 heroes really have right-click damage.
Lina's the big right-clicker. Storms is not terrible, but it doesn't exactly blow you away either. It's more about the lockdown. It's really up to the Zeus ultimate and some of the nuke damage from the other heroes to get those kills.
And this is not a farm Zeus. This is a hero I think Vici Gaming would love to get a few more items on, get that like refresher, the Dagon 5 that a lot of players like to go for, and look to just have Zeus able to dish out a ton more damage in a short amount of time. But with just Bloodstone and Glimmercape, it's not really that scary or potent at this point.
I do have to say, Hot6 has done they continue to have total vision superiority around the map, and they still have their towers up aside from that mid-tier one as well. So maintaining the map control edge. And they are forcing Vici Gaming to 5-man, which means even if they lose team fights, they still at least keep this lead at a solid 10K or so. Vici again moving out, but as usual, it's 4 or 5 heroes all together, trying to D-ward, just little forays here and there. They really are just hoping to catch Hot6 out, and with no smoke still for 7 minutes, they have to play super safe. It may even mean this Roshan is just free for MVP.
Yeah, I was just looking at the smoke cannon. That's something which Vici Gaming have been somewhat reliant on to... everything they've accomplished in the last 10-15 minutes, all the good engagements, the good fights have seemed to have come from their smoke usage, which is something very impressive that they've had such a high success rate on smokes. I mean, it's much higher than you'd normally see come out from a team, and without them, it feels like Hot6 are just generally coming out a lot better. They've kept being proactive with the vision. They have sentries everywhere, even when they're getting de-warded by Zeus. Illusion Rune forces out Winter's Curse, and Vici Gaming gonna fall back, probably rightfully so, with Winter's Curse on cooldown, and Rupture is used.
Oh wow!
they really went ham on that illusion.
I just saw the ice shards from the trees, and I think the combination of the two is what scared them. Like, uh-oh, they're coming. And they must have numbers. Oh, top lane. There's the jump in from MP. He looks for the super solo kill with the Glimmer Cape. He's just a bit too tanky. Nice item pickup that helps him to survive against those single target pickoffs. Will allow him to stay alive here. And Vici Gaming not giving up any freebies now, but they are being choked into their base. And as far as map control gods to add to it, MP has a gem now, so even more ways to keep Vici Gaming in the dark, which is exactly what we're seeing now.
It's a good pickup. 2 Glimmer Capes on the Radiant side. You need that detection, and if Storm wants to be able to just go for kind of kills solo or just kind of back up a Lina who's gone off solo and go bowling in to provide that detection, it's very important to have.
As they show how top, it's quite clear that there's more lurking behind him, so MVP retreat.
I feel like someone needs to get some right-click damage out of the Storm Lina. Storm's picked up a Mithril Hammer.
I think it's the BKB, though, here.
Yeah, I think so, too. I feel like a Deso would actually not be the worst pick. Like, if he goes on the Zeus, having that Deso, because he's getting a decent amount of right-clicks off with Treads Orchid. At the same time, it's not like the dream right-click damage. I feel like a Daedalus maybe would be a better one if he wants right-click, so... Probably a BKB.
MVP. They get scouted by the Zeus ult, and if Roche respawns early, they will go right into the pit.
Yeah.
They're going to scout
20
it.
seconds. Oh, boy, that's short.
But not right away. So it's one of those things where they may not wait. Let's see how patient Heen can be.
I feel like even
pretty
2
patient.
to 3 minutes from now, I don't know how good Vici Gaming are at contesting Roshan.
Well, last time the idea of the contest was not actually go into the pit, just catch them on the high ground and then slaughter them like cattle as they run up the ramp.
Yeah, unfortunately, running into Roshan, while Hot6 don't have the high ground advantage, they theoretically have the vision advantage where they can ward up, have sentries down, and see you coming while you don't know 100% they're in Roshan. So the Roshan pit is a place where I feel Hot6 have the advantage. Going up blind up the high ground, yeah, that's one place where Vici Gaming would love to take the fight.
If Vici had vision, I'd maybe even say they have the edge in the pit with the Bloodseeker Sots, the call down, and the Winter's Curse, but with no vision, I totally agree. It's so risky for Vici.
Hot6 aren't even warning. Like I said, they theoretically have the vision advantage, but they're just like, we're fine. They're nowhere to be seen. We can do this. It's a pretty sizable lead still for Hot6. Over 10,000 net worth. They've got a Storm as well as a Lina, who it still feels there's no answer to. Both sitting on a decent size of Bloodstone charges. Apart from the Storm, who's only on 8, but I mean, it's still healthy enough.
I love these FY rat tactics. The rat wyvern working its magic up top, but he may get caught if he blinks in to try to last hit the tower, which it seems like he really wants to. 4F's just on the hunt right now. Oh, he found him. FY. Oh, he gets the stun just barely and
Got the tower.
exterminates him. But FY gets the tower, like you said, so not a terrible trade in the end.
Storm ball across the map, just trying to get a Bloodstone charge.
That would be so sweet, but it's Lina with the bulk of them. 16 Bloodstone charges up. They've been on the pendulum here, just swinging back and forth between gigantic closing on 20 and down to a more manageable 8 to 10 or so.
Well, they still just have that big looming issue. How do we end this game? As much as Vici Gaming are kind of waiting for a Hot6 mistakes, it feels like Hot6 are doing the same thing because they can't just group up as 5 and expect to push high ground against the Winter Wyvern with Curse, the Gyrocopter cooldown flak, all the AoE damage. Vici Gaming, their lineup is just geared for defending, especially against this kind of a draft. So on both sides, they're hoping for a pick-off or a hero to get caught out.
Or maybe they just push in. MVP, just brute forcing it. They even throw the Solar Crest on a creep to tank a couple extra tower shots. It's MP in front. They may engage on him just to try to pop this Aegis here. He really doesn't want to give that up too easily. Not fully committing yet. Ice looking for the right opportunity for the silence, and they get it with the 2-hero Winter's Curse, but the snowball comes crashing through and protects and keeps alive Forev, who now comes rushing in. This Lina has a cheese. If need be, she can go for more, and Fenrir gets silenced. MP brings him down. Forev already loses the Laguna, and still committing onto Hal. They're going to finish off Hal, too. He needs to buy back, and he will now, but he's buying back without his spells, and so too is the Wyvern. Another snowball jumping in. Jerax is in deep, though, and he may end up falling to this. MP engaging. Gotta finish these heroes quick before the endless saves start coming out, and he ends up just balling out, retreating. His Lina popped the cheese, couldn't survive, and they get MP. Oh no, this is bad. Could be another death as FY jumps up on top, but he's on his own. He's gone in a bit too far. He needs Ice to help him, and MP runs for the hills, heading to the north. Slowly they look to chase him down, but his Lina's come back. 4F's ready to re-engage. Can he find the counter kills? Oh, he lets the Storm die first. He didn't have the Laguna, and now they chase onto 4F. 4 heroes end up dying. The Lina back into the game. Actually, she died as well. That makes it 5, along with an Aegis as well as a cheese. And that is a rather painful fight recap for the Hot6 fans.
It still was a lot of buybacks from the Radiant side. Gyrocopter, Wyvern, did Dazzle also buy back?
It was only
Dazzle.
2.
Yeah, 2 buybacks.
But they get Aegis, cheese, they get 5, and they hold Rex.
Yeah, they kind of lost sight of like their initial vision, which was just chip away at the tower, Storm with the Solar Crest on him. They were getting a lot of damage. They forced out the Glyph. Vici Gaming then also felt pressure, like, okay, we got to engage. Otherwise, we're just going to slowly lose our rack. So they went in with the Blink Winter's Curse. Wyvern died. The snowball saved him, but once they snowballed in, I think they just need to back off and then go back to the initial game plan of chipping away at the tower, then force Vici Gaming to once again engage. Instead, once they were snowballed in there, they felt like they were committed, but I feel like they were in a position where they could have just backed off a bit more and kind of regrouped and just gone back to sieging, but it's very hard in the moment once you're snowballed in and you're leaning with cheese and you got BKB up. You're like, okay, we can do this. So very hard to kind of make that more defensive call in the moment.
Did she have the MKB during the fight, or did she pick it up? I think she got it afterwards.
Recent pickup. Yeah, I think that was a fresh item.
You wanted physical damage. This is a lot of physical damage, and at the same time, Super's gotten a Ghost Scepter. So between the Glimmer Cape and the Ghost Scepter, he's just looking to survive and just hide out as long as humanly possible.
Well, nice Observer Ward here in the top lane for Hot6. Not getting scouted yet by Vici Gaming. So
that's a clever one. Did they lose their gem? I thought they had one. Fenrir is actually the one who picked it up. So
5 dead.
As nice as it is, it's gone. That's the biggest cost, perhaps. That endless chokehold that MVP had Vici under is... It can be whittled away very easily with this gem.
I feel like most games you see maybe like 20% of wards get dewarded. This game it's been like 80 to 90%.
But by both teams, really. I mean, Vici were constantly dewarding. It's just that Hot6 had the goal to buy more and more observers, more and more sentries, and they had the war chest, if you will, to keep on fighting that battle.
It's going to be a pretty fast Roshan respawn, it looks like, after the time it just pops up now. But for Hot6, they've seen what they can do. Like they probably looked at that initial push like, okay, this is actually working. A Storm has enough right-click damage to force Vici Gaming to engage. They're probably not going to go for another similar play until they've got an Aegis. So until the next Roshan respawns, they're looking to regain map control. Unfortunately, with the gem on the Radiant side, it's pretty difficult. They can look for pickoffs, maybe try to look to use a smoke of their own, which they have got on Tusk. So I think once lanes are pushed out, look towards Hot6 trying to make a smoke play and find some pickoffs.
And speaking of smoke, let's keep an eye on it here. There's no smokes for 10 minutes for the Radiant. Any on the Courier? There's one. So Vici have one in there at their disposal. They've got 2, 3 for MVP. They definitely have more opportunities here to go for those types of plays, which is a pretty significant advantage at this stage of the game.
Lina at top, kind of being baited in by there's everybody right behind him.
That's pretty obvious bait. There's literally nobody else visible on the map.
Yeah.
And she's not going to go for it.
It's even being pinged by MVP. Like, this is fishy.
Oh, they might backstab them, though, gods. Are they going to swing all the... Are they thinking about a full backstab?
I think it was just... Oh, it turned into maybe a smoke looking for a pickoff on someone defending the lane.
You know, they see the sigil. I wonder if Vici are expecting this. And they have a gem, so... As good as this ward looks, will they actually get much done with it?
Yeah, I mean, even just that, like, 30 seconds of vision at this point, it's like, well, it gave us a short-lived spur of vision.
It doesn't get them a kill. It doesn't help them push.
And it's gone.
And dead.
It tells Lina that, okay, top lane's safe to push.
That's about all that ward did.
So, at this stage, it's very... You can use cliffs, maybe, and just unexpected spots to try and delay the de-warding process, but... For now, MVP just going to... They want to just keep lanes pushed out. That's going to be their way of getting vision, is just by having creeps push out lanes and force heroes to defend and reveal themselves.
Have you noticed How's latest pickup?
Oh, he's going from... This is my favorite gyro.
This is the storm counter.
This.
He just jumps on you, you just abyssal him, and then blow him up.
It's fantastic damage. It actually gives a lot more right-click damage than people normally kind of expect from the item. It's not just about the bash. And when you get to a point where you've got a lot of attack speed, which Skadi and SMY gives you, you're also getting that bash. It may be 10%, but you'll get those bashes from time to time with Gyro's attack speed. So gives him some good control to deal with the storm. And speaking of control, there was also a Hex pickup from Ice.
Yeah, he's had this one for some time. It hasn't really gotten to use it, but it could be a lot of trouble. If either of Hot6 carries gets hexed, I just think they die. They really need to get those BKBs off quickly. A lot of this game could come down to reactions. They do have the snowball. That's the one defensive play they really have, but you compare it to Vici with the Grave, the Cold Embrace, the heals, it's not quite the same.
What do you think FY's getting with the purse? Is it Lincoln's or Refresher? Both are good.
Do you think either? I was thinking maybe a Lotus Orb.
Lotus Orb?
To be honest.
Okay.
Versus the
There's a third item
Laguna.
now.
The Laguna and the Grip, it feels like it could be really strong.
It
also seems like an FY item. It's like, I want the item that I can make the flashiest plays with in the world.
I feel like Refresher has a lot of playmaking potential just because...
That's true. It could be a Refresher.
Winter's Curse is one of... At least so far this game, it's been the most important lockdown spell for them. Now they have Hex as well as... Well, no Abyssal Blade yet, but it's coming.
He hasn't spent his gold in a while. I feel like he almost... In fact, he's got the plate mail gold, so...
Lincoln's is one of those items, you're going to get value from a Lincoln's. It's not like you have to make a play to make the Lincolns work. Just spamming Lincolns on your Gyrocopter means you're going to maybe block a Laguna Blade, maybe block a Grip. It's always going to be a reliable item. But it's a lot of money to spend on something that gives you, it's an item that can be dealt with. To me, Refresher is a big playmaking item. Lotus Orb, like you mentioned, also
Oh, Ice. He gets the silence on 3, and he also gets the vision for Vici. They set up a missile on Jerax.
He's going to keep those buffs on teammates as well. How with a Blood Rage flat cannon on a lot of heroes could cause some problems.
And that's the scary thing, is they can throw the Blood Rage on Hal with zero fear that he dies. Because he's either going to get Graved or Cold Embrace, unless something goes horribly wrong here. And Vici make their move, but a glimmering Heen starts to inch his way forward. They get the high ground tombstone.
They can deal with it with lightning
here.
bolt.
It's going to take a little while. How needs to be the one to focus this, and if they lose this tombstone right away, that's not a good start to the fight, but that's a lot of zombies, and that's an opportunity for MVP. They start off with a slave, they get a decay out. Now, a nice ice shards by Jerax blocking the back. That could be the opening. MP comes in from the side, and FY wasn't ready for that. Pulled in quickly, not dead just yet. He's graved. He's kept alive, and they simply can't find the quick, easy kills this game. Snowball forward by Jerax, and the engagement continues. They bring down the gyro. Dead for 100. Wyvern falling as well, and already ice out of the picture. What a great catch there by Jerax. The shards blocking the path of retreat and caging Vici Gaming in. And MVP, they forget about Roche. They're going mid. They want to just force out some buybacks.
I've thought about continuing. No, he's TPing top. He's also got a Moonshard coming on Courier, or he's bought the recipe at least.
They're going for it now, gods. The buybacks are up on 2 of these heroes. Winter's Curse on cooldown for 50. Call down is about to be up along with the BKB. Still going to be a tough fight because MVP of everything. A fresh tombstone already deployed. And in comes the push. Can MVP upset the juggernauts Vici? Or will they be able to battle back? They're already about to be down to lane of Rax. It falls quickly to Foreb and his mighty fists. Now they look for the range and they'll clean that one up too. A rocket onto MP, who swings back towards mid. Without the Bloodseeker and without the Wyvern of FY actually committing a buyback, they may even lose 2 lanes of Rex by the time he respawns. This is going to be a very steep hill to climb. MVP, the engagement begins now. The jump onto Super, there's the Grave, keeping him alive for now. A call down, thrown out, only barely clipping Heen. MP, healthy for now. He balls out easily, and then he gets purged. The Courier with 3,600 net worth ends up fighting in the midst of this, and a great Winter's Curse comes out, but can't quite finish for him. He needs to BKB here. He's so damn important to the fight, but he can't. Hexed and dead eventually. The Bane to fall as well. And MVP have to back. This may cost them a Roche, but they got the Rex. MP was ruptured.
Pretty
Doesn't
fast
have a
respawn
TP.
for Lina.
Let's see. Whose Courier was that?
It was the Dire Courier.
And what did it have? It had a Hex.
The Storm's Hex. Wow, okay.
That's a big takedown. No Hex for 3 minutes. You just give up this Roche, right? I don't.
Lina's respawning very soon.
No Bane, though. No Bane.
Yeah, I feel like you're also just not... Lina's not going to get here in time.
Maybe MP goes for the big steal. That is so risky, though. Does he want to make the big plays? He's dropped an item. MP's thinking about it. They've got Sigil Vision, and then he jumps. He's got the Aegis! MP, you player! Unbelievable! And then they snowball in, and they're looking for more. They've got Vici Gaming where they want him, fighting in the pit. They've got a second life here as well. They're doing work. Everybody grouped up for Ev, pummeling Vici Gaming. They just won't stop. They bring down Hal. It's 4 dead. That's a dieback on the gyro. It's a team wipe and Ultra for 4Ev. And MVP.Hot6 just laid out Vici Gaming. What a fight. That was simply majestic.
Bravo. That is just a team with such little experience making such a clutch, huge play at the most important time against one of the best teams in the world. That is just insane. That was balls of steel coming out from MP. He just went for it. He's like, okay, Lina's rejoining me. If they make the play work, it's game over. Gyro's got no buyback. This is just Bloodseeker and Zeus versus the world. And Vici Gaming have just been taken down a notch after a 2-0 stomp of Team Empire. It's the Koreans, our new overlords. They're here. They've arrived to Dota 2.
Well, they couldn't deal with CDEC gods, but they are taking it to Super and Vici Gaming now, not even bothering to get kills with this Laguna. They'll leave that for MP. He gets the last pick, and Super kept alive at the well. Be careful, MVP. You haven't fully won just yet, but they feel like they have, as Forev celebrates with a takedown from his Laguna Blade. It's FY next. He takes the battering, and Fenrir surrounded. He'll be herded back to the well, and he won't make it. It's a triple for MP, and MVP.Hot6 have already taken their first win here at the International 5 with a chance to 2-0 Vici Gaming.
Hats off to the young team from South Korea. That was a hell of a showing, a fantastic draft. This is, like, I mean, a lot of it goes back to the draft. This was the dream draft for MVP.Hot6. Talked about what they need to do. all-out aggression, look to dominate the early game. You can't afford to fall behind, and at no point did they fall behind. They found kills. There were a few times here or there where they overextended, but that was just the nature of their playstyle. They were always going to be looking to keep taking to Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming punished a few mistakes here or there, but MVP just kept coming at them and never gave Vici Gaming any room to breathe.
Like you said, Gods, it's not, we can't quite proclaim them yet, but MVP.Hot6 showing that our Korean overlords might be moving in. For now, they can be happy. They've already gotten a point. They will not get completely swept out here at the International 5. And they've got a shot to 2-0 Vici Gaming, who came into this group looking as one of the favorites. So with that, guys, we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back for game number 2. I'm LD. He's Gods. Stay tuned. Really was. And Vici Gaming, they go right ahead and ban not one, but both heroes in the first stage. So Bounty Hunter's available, but Vici have the first pick, and we all know what FY can do with that hero. So if you're MVP, do you just ban it now?
I think maybe it's okay to leave in, because Bounty Hunter as a roamer means you can look to do well in the lanes. You have to have, it means your mid lane may suffer a little bit, but if you can run maybe some dual lanes of your own, just look to do what you did in game 1, where you just dominate the lane stage and force Bounty Hunter to maybe play more defensively. I think it can still work out okay. In fact, Vici Gaming don't take it. Leshrac left in the pool. Hot6, I think, basically said with, again, Dazzle, like the Rubik ban in game 1, a pseudo throwaway ban. The Rubik, obviously, a respect ban towards FY, but much more just like we want to leave a lot of heroes in the pool. We want this game to go very differently here. And I'd be very surprised if Hot6 don't get the Bounty Hunter in these first two.
So what do you want if you're Hot6 here? You see Leshrac. Now, we saw how Cloud9 tried to deal with this earlier. They went like all in countering the core Leshrac earlier. They go anti-mage, they go Pugna first phase. That felt like it was just too committed, and then there's ways to respond to it. But do you consider a hero like anti-mage if you're Hot6? They go Bounty. Or do you just take the face rush to them again?
I think more likely it's going to be face rush. If it's anti-mage, I don't think they'd pick it up this early on. It reveals too much. Like once you pick the anti-mage, it's like, okay, they could still run dual lanes, but it's like this is their strategy. It's very much revolving around the anti-mage. So I could see them going for like a Pugna or a Pugna type strat, but they haven't got the Undying, like a Pugna Undying type, just Death Ball, but not.
But just on his own, he's rather frail and easily brought down if he's not careful.
Clockwork is going to be the option here. Good against the Leshrac when you hit that Blade Mail timing, and Leshrac doesn't want to go for a BKB that early on. He takes a while to get it because he wants his Bloodstone first, and normally even like a Bloodstone Yules, so makes Leshrac's life a little more difficult.
Yeah, with this clock pick, they get a bit of a solution to Leshrac until he gets a BKB, which normally takes a decent amount of time, if it is a core Leshrac. Now, there is still potential for support. We used to see Vici Gaming run their Rubik-Lesh duo quite a bit. The Rubik's in the pool. They could even pick it now, and you really don't know, which could put Hot6 in quite the predicament. You know, do you worry about the dual roam too much? At the same time, Bounty, Clock, pretty durable heroes, so Vici Gaming, we'll have to see what direction they want to take this as they move into their second pick.
Yeah, I could see Rubik being a solid pick. It also doesn't really reveal too much about it reveals nothing about what you're doing, because
for some teams it reveals a lot, but for Vici it reveals nothing.
Like you said, you don't know if Leshrac is going to be the support pair or a core still, so a Rubik pick, that's the case. It doesn't. They're going to roam a lot. That's all it tells you. And at the same time, it could just be a Rubik with someone else, and Leshrac played in the mid lane. So options are plenty for Vici Gaming. They can go any direction with this draft.
They banned Pugna, though. So it does lean towards a potential core Lesh with that. Doesn't have to be by any means, but obviously the ward is just ridiculously good against Leshrac. So, where do Hot6 want to take this? They've got a lot of ganking potential here as far as initiation. They don't have a whole lot of damage. Generally, when we see a Clockwork, we see someone who can throw a lot of nuke power into it. It used to be Skywrath. Lena's quite a bit more popular nowadays. Occasionally, we'll even see something like a Lion, though he seems to not be quite in vogue as much as he once was.
The big hero, I'd be surprised if Hot6, at least not eyeing off somewhat, is Gyrocopter. Still in the pool, didn't get banned, didn't get touched in this first stage, just because Hot6 want to prioritize the Bounty Hunter. And I think they want to get just that good control and a hero that can deal with the Leshrac before going into the Gyrocopter. So Hot6 have the first pick in the second picking stage, so they can theoretically go for that. And it's good because Hot6 are in a position where, I mean, they have to run, like, Bounty Hunter's going to be roaming, so Clockwork going to be a solo hero, but he can solo the safe lane if they want to go for, like, a dual lane in the off lane with a Gyro +1. If they feel they can, that won't get punished, which comes down to, like, what the support pairing is for Vici Gaming. And it's flexible. I mean, Gyrocopter's win rate's been absurd, so I think that's kind of the hero MVP.Hot6 will have their eye on. If not Gyrocopter, it's going to be like a late game anti-mage strat.
It's pretty surprising he hasn't been picked yet, to be honest. It's in most games, it feels if Gyro is not banned first phase, he definitely is picked within the first 4. Maybe not first overall, but very unusual to see him slip this far. And it will be Hot6 with the first pick coming out of this one, so keep your eyes out for that. They don't really have... No, there you go. There's the ban on the Gyro, so they're going to have to go a different direction now. Other options, we've seen the Shadow Fiend from this team before. MP, known for his Zeus play at times, maybe a little too squishy and gimmicky on the pickoffs, but...
And even the heroes we saw last game.
Maybe Invoker.
Lena's a possibility once again if they want to run another core Lena. Last game was safe lane. They can run it mid if they want. A lot of burst damage when you're trying to bring down the Leshrac quickly.
You do have the bounty, so even if you pick almost anyone, it breaks even or loses to Lesh, but you've got the bounty to harass a little bit.
Yep.
Can help even up the lane.
We'll see what they kind of have their eyes on here. And they still need that. If they don't want to reveal too much with this third pick, they look to just maybe grab that kind of range support to go with whatever carry they want. You got to imagine like that Disruptor, Witch like is going to be what they have in mind to go with whatever carry that they're thinking about.
And Lena it is.
Yeah.
So they stick with what worked last game. Also can beat Leshrac in lane, has a really good nuke in the Dragon Slave. And once you get 6, if he hasn't farmed really well and has some HP items, you can just slave him and Laguna him, and he's basically dead.
Yeah, pretty flexible too, because it might not even be it could be another safe lane Lena if they want to go for that.
It could even be a support.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So Vici Gaming kept guessing. I mean, if they've done their homework on Hot6, which I mean, ultimately they're going to do some homework on every team, even the teams they thought they had, they previously thought they might have an easy shot against. But Jerax has played a lot of Lena throughout the qualifiers. I think it was one of his most played heroes. So they see this leader pick and they're like, well, last game was carry, could be anything this game.
They definitely did their homework because, yeah, they banned the Leshrac, the Earthshaker for Jerax very early in the previous game. But whether they've studied the entire Bible on Hot6, not so sure about that.
So Vici Gaming now have to start revealing a bit more about what they have in mind. They're going to go Earthshaker.
Well, that's about as unrevealing as it gets. Could still be an offlaner for Ice Ice Ice. Could still be a dual roam Leshrac Rubik. Or it could be the Leshrac mid, support Rubik ES. There's a lot of ways they can still take this. But next pick, they definitely have to reveal.
Yeah, it's so flexible with Earthshaker and Leshrac as far as laning goes. I imagine it's going to be a support Earthshaker Rubik duo with Leshrac as their core mid. I mean, Leshrac can mid or safe lane, I guess, but Ice actually hasn't played that much offlane Earthshaker. Not to say by no means is he a hero pool limited player, but it's very much like they don't know too much about what Hot6 are doing, especially because the Lena picks is versatile, so they pick up a versatile pick of their own. And it's kind of like a waiting game where you're trying to see what the key heroes for your opponents are going to be before you commit to your own.
Bloodseeker, the choice. Very strong potentially against all these heroes with a great zoning spell. The Leshrac especially, you want to be running after the enemy team, and if he gets silenced, can really throw him for a loop.
Blood Rage Lena, that's scary stuff as well.
Very squishy stuff as well, potentially. But
yeah.
That can be an instant KO option if they get the farm. So I guess most likely a one-position Bloodseeker. They've got the clock for the offlane. The Lena still flexible. Could go mid, could be the support.
I feel like a TA would be a great pick for Vici Gaming. It's just not something Super plays that often. We've seen it match up pretty well against Bloodseeker. You're on the dire side. It gives you some good extra damage. It does put Leshrac into a side lane, and instead it's Ember Spirit, so a good fighting carry.
Now there's a hero like the Storm. You're invulnerable while you move through the Spirit, so not taking Rupture damage, and Also, just very elusive in general. They don't have a reliable silence here. They do have a strong one, but no guarantee that it's going to connect.
This looks like a tough Bloodseeker game. Tons of control.
And you're running in on a Leshrac.
Yeah, running in on a Leshrac, you can telekinesis, you can chain stun him really easily. You've got searing chains to control him. Also, and this is a great Ember Spirit game just as well. Like, they haven't got an easy way to initiate with a silence and keep him locked in place. So I could see this. I can see this draft working a lot better for Vici Gaming compared to last.
I'll see what Hot6 have in store for this last pick. They're going to ban out the 5th hero now for Vici, who at this point, it looks to be the Super Ember. House hero still to be... well, Hal could be the Leshrac,
I think
actually.
Hal might be the... Hal also plays Ember Spirit from time to time, so if they want to run...
Okay.
It's going to come down to matchups, and I think if they're expecting if they're expecting Bloodseeker mid, they'd rather send Leshrac against the Bloodseeker.
Oh yeah, definitely rather send Lesh than Ember. That is no fun for Ember.
At the same time, I don't know if Hot6 want to send Bloodseeker mid because he's not a hero that. I mean, I guess he has a decent amount of kill potential with bounty roaming once he gets some levels in thirst stack. So
the safe lane is fine. I worry a bit about the off lane Seeker not getting his early farm and levels. Yeah. We saw last game. Ice, sure, he caught up a little bit, but he just didn't have that explosive impact that you're really looking for when you pick this hero.
Yeah, I could see it being safe lane. I guess safe lane or mid. So we'll see what Hot6 have in mind. And again, comes down to where the Lina goes. But with the success of last game's core Lina, Vici Gaming is saying, yeah, it's probably a core Lina. They ban out Witch Doctor, which is the go-to kind of 5-position support for Hot6 a lot of the time.
Time to finish up the draft here, Hot6.
Interesting AA ban, too. I'm expecting a last pick's a Rubik AA. I mean,
they're expecting the offlane Shaker here and the core Lesh, which is... I think it's the most likely at this point. Not guaranteed, though.
Yeah, with the Brood ban especially, there's... I'm trying to think what other Ice series you'd look to pull out.
I mean, he can play anything.
Yeah.
Trying to think what would really be good here. I mean, we used to...
Breaker is not bad this game.
Oh, boy. We talked about this in the first game of the day.
Okay.
This is...
Spirit Breaker just got a lot better now as well.
Yes, yes.
Having Charge and Nether Strike to do with Huska.
This is the Leshrac counter, potentially.
Yeah.
Even Ember is all magic damage through the early game. Later on, obviously, he's a hitter, but... It does feel like you want a little physical damage.
You can't really walk up to the Husker 2Ls and Ember Spirit. It's like very much like Slight, 5 seconds later, another Slight. Yeah, this last
and imagine if he's Blood Raged and he starts getting kills.
They've got no reserve time left. They have to think of a pick very quickly.
3 seconds, FY. They call you a god. Let's see. Does he have the solution? Timber.
Pure damage. There we go. Yeah.
That's one other way to deal with the Husker. They don't want to go physical. They go pure. Not an amazing Timbersaw game, though. The Bloodseeker sounds very irritating for him. They've got heavy burst from the Lina in magical form. They'd also have Clock, who can totally shut down Timber if he catches him with Battery Assault.
It's very much his guarantee that they have a way to kill the Husker in the mid game, because you kind of mentioned Ember Spirit, very much magic damage focus. Around the time Husker hits his armlet, treads, timing, when he's armlet toggling, you haven't got the damage to finish him off. There's nothing to really counter the armlet toggles too well. And when he gets low HP, he's just going to be hitting like a madman, doing all kinds of damage. So I think it's a very smart pick to guarantee that, assuming Ice is still alive, Husker, when he gets low HP, is going to get punished. That's Timbersaw's entire role here. It is a rough Timbersaw game. He gets owned by Rupture. Clockwork's a problem. Bloodseeker Silence is a problem. Lina's got a ton of magic nuke damage, but their last pick had to be something offering some answers to Husker. So we'll see how it works out.
With that, we get underway here. Ladies and gentlemen, MVP.Hot6 in the driver's seat, leading 1-0 in the 2-game set versus the previously undefeated Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming running through the lineups quickly. We'll have Super on the Leshrac, so it will be a core Shrek in the end. Fenrir playing the support Earthshaker, not the offlane Shaker we were discussing. Timbersaw will be in the hands of Ice. Of course, wearing, I believe, his own pro gear here. Looking pretty as ever, self-made. You can't get it in the store. FY on the Rubik, and that does leave up top Hal on the Ember Spirit. Meanwhile, for MVP, we've got Jerax. He'll be roaming as the bounty hunter, not on a big team fight here like we're accustomed to seeing him on. Sunby playing the offlane Clock. It's MP handling the Bloodseeker and going mid, Heen, your Lina, and that leaves Forev on. I would call it his signature here only because we see it so infrequently, and he's one of the few that actually plays it in competitive on the Huskar.
Well, we'll see early roaming, well, not roaming, early deep ward planted by the Leshrac in the mid lane. He actually went into the high ground next to the Ancients to plant this from up above, so it actually didn't get... Oh, no, okay, they realized what happened. Very handy D ward coming out.
That's going to hurt Vici Gaming quite a bit here.
Yeah, that's...
Especially against a bounty hunter. Not having that vision, he doesn't even have to run around Invis anymore.
And the other ward is generally in the off... Like, they know the other ward is typically in the off lane for SSI, so that's down bottom, giving him vision. And also, I'm curious ward from SSI down bottom, not really... Behind the trees, not really help. I guess he'll maybe cut down these trees at some point.
Oh, that's the Radiant ward.
Oh, that's a Radiant ward. You're right. No. So the other ward hasn't been planted yet. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, it's on FY.
It's on okay, never mind. I thought that was nice size where I was like...
I was with you. I'm like, wait a second. That's not a very good dire ward.
No. So this will, give vision out in lane and spot... Because Ice will be trying to go for runes where possible because he'll get zoned out pretty hard by the Husk.
Well, for now, Fenrir is the salve bearer for Super. It doesn't want that courier to get sniped, so he just walks it out to the lane. Always the threat with the bounty hunter, but a hero that's well equipped to kind of help out in that situation. Bottom lane, we'll see Ice went for the double mango strat. On paper, a great item for Timbersaw. You've already got reactive armor, so you've got some natural HP regen. It just kind of stacks up, and at this point, he's working with 6, make it 7 HP regen a second. But he's up against Flaming Spears, heavy harass from Heen's support Lina. And if he has to start eating these things just to try and stay in the lane and chain away, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, so he'll want to hold on to them as long as possible until he's going for kills. And
it's a lot of regen. That's 11 with the tangos. Maybe that's why they picked him, was not even just for the pure damage, but just the raw regen that Timbersaw has in lane.
It definitely helps. I still think at some point they're going to zone him out.
MP's been caught. Super going in. Who's going to win the man fight? It is Super. And that's not a great way to start the lane for your Bloodseeker.
Yeah. And that was... The Radiant Sentry actually wasn't in range of the Dire one there, so the Sentry battle kind of favoring Vici Gaming here since they have vision over the lane for the Bounty Hunter.
He does at least get the experience, but if you're dying early as Bloodseeker, Leshrac is going to be very difficult to deal with. Just not a hero you want to run in on, as we mentioned. And if you fall behind, then that becomes even more so the case.
Yeah. Thinking he just had maybe the edge with Jarex nearby, but it's a...
It was the fissure. The fissure just kept the bounty hunter back and really limited the damage.
Sunby at top. He gets caught out, and Hao just walked in with the Flame Guard and FY in range for a telekinesis. So
nice takedown there. Normally offlane Clock, not a hero that dies that much early, but it's the Clock that dies first, not the Timbersaw, who still has his double mango. May need to ferry a set of tangos if he takes too much more harass. But
he's in a tough spot. At this point, the lane equilibrium is far enough away from his tower that he can't really get any experience. And this is where Timbersaw really fell off as a pick because he had no real way. He can't jungle at all. He struggles to actually get XP in lane if he gets zoned out properly. And that's exactly what Heen has been doing here with the help of, the strongest laning carry almost in the Huskar.
Yeah, maybe you throw the Viper into that discussion, but Huskar is... He's definitely
his zoning
up there.
potential is pretty ferocious for solo offlaners.
Yeah, FY does have a sentry ward. He has not planted it just yet. He's going to go for a pull, but in they go. They get off the slow. Jarex does have the Orb of Venom, but a great lift. He chooses Sunby, not Jarex. That was the correct play, and it allows him to just walk away with the early boots pickup. Hao was thinking about a double tango through to go for this and counter-initiate, but doesn't end up finding the opening.
And Earthshaker Fenrir just continuing to camp this mid lane, realizing that he can maybe look to set up a similar play to what he just did, where one fissure into a split earth and maybe waiting for Leshrac to hit level 5. But also importantly, just being around to stack neutral camps and then secure these runes as the 4-minute mark is approaching.
No stacks just yet. He hasn't gotten any going, but I do see MP with quite a bit of move speed, and that's going to force Ice back to the base. He has bought his boots, though. Did not get the tangos. Trish tried to rush him right away. Oh, that could be a good silence. Oh. He's looking for the cliff. He does manage to fight Super, and now he can look to go in. There's no points in needing, but there's too much backup. It's just a Vici Gaming dog pile here at the top rune. They send an extra man, and if they didn't, that's probably a dead Lesh, but with the 3, they're able to hold it, get the rune, and then just back off.
Smart sentry as well. FY kind of just... guess when Bloodseeker's going for that rune as he is, when he just knew the bounty hunter would show up there. So good blind sentry coming out, gets the bounty hunter, and Earthshaker also starting the stacks there. So he gets the first stack on that big camp, and that's something where Super can just get out of control with a crazy amount of farm if he has stacks, as well as the fact that he's dominating this mid lane.
In terms of farm here, looking at the creep scores, it's a little bit of a lead here for Hot6, guys.
Yeah,
despite how the kill score is going.
Clock is getting farm and level. Clock is doing much better than Ice. So this is very much like something you see from Ice. He'll die in the off lane, but if it's to get experience and farm, it's worth it. But problem is, as Timber saw, if he's going to die and not even get XP down here. As soon as he comes in XP range, he's getting pummeled, and he's only just now found a way to snuck himself into these trees and leech some XP from this lane.
And Forev closing in on a level 6. He is rushing the armlet. It's going to be a pretty fast one. And once you get the armlet, the big play potential can come out. But it's kind of tough to armlet toggle this game. You've got the Rubik lift, the Lesh stun, the chains potentially just to hold you in position for everything else, and then the fissure as well, which can come out of nowhere. I feel like that's almost more of an issue than the pure damage. Just you try to armlet toggle, you get stunned, and you just die without getting to do anything. So we'll see. How good will 4F be?
Well,
not quite there yet.
It gives him a ton of solo kill potential. He can go for the solo Roche play. But yeah, they've got a lot of stuns, and during that chain stun, they can just look to right-click him down. But we'll see how it works out for him, as it looks like this next rune is not going to be contested. Clockwork even rotated in, and Super just says, I'm bottle crowing.
Oh, they're bringing in FY. He actually wants to fight it. He's pinning the bounty hunters here, guys. The bounty hunter's here, and indeed he is. Sentry pop, they fissure block him, but it's on the wrong side. They're going to lift him over the fissure. Nope, not quite. Just back into a Lesh stun. That's some teamwork there by Vici, showing just how comfortable they are playing around the FY Rubik. And, well, a good read by him. They see Sunby moving in, and they're saying there's no way Clock goes for this unless there's also a bounty hunter here. Let's just get the easy pick. So far, it's been a very poor opening for the bounty hunter from Jerax.
Oh, there's Armlet. And this is the power of Husker.
And
6
another
minutes
death.
in.
It's Sunby who's going to die mid. It's just wave after wave of Vici gaming heroes charging into the mid lane and just finding easy pickoffs.
Yeah, Lesh Earthshaker, just a beastly combo here. He's going to go for the
no TP.
The light
he
break.
might have this one. Yes, sir. He does with the armlet.
Armlet toggle if he wants.
They're going to need more of that from Forev, but that is a great way to get his team in the game. 5-1 the score now.
Yeah, this is going to be a problem lane. I mean, there was no real last pick they could put in the offlane against the Husker. They're just hoping that once Ice gets levels, he can be a useful hero at dealing with him. And this Husker, he's not even going to go back to base. He just stays down here, constantly armlet toggles. He's fine. You armlet toggle, you get 500-ish HP, so that's going to be enough unless Vici Gaming really rotate 3 to 4 heroes down there.
He's definitely glad the Bloodseeker's on his team. That's for sure.
Yeah, picking Husk when the other team has Bloodseeker, probably a bad idea.
Not again. Sunby walks right back in the mid and again picked off. They are just trilaning bottom. And meanwhile, while that was going on, Huskar suicides, but he gives Timbersaw the kill first. That is the kill. The kill mid is bad, but or not ideal rather.
Yeah.
But that kill bottom is the one you just can't afford if you're Hot6.
Yeah, I didn't see what happened, but I imagine it was just an outplay where
I think he dove for it and then just armlet toggled at the wrong time would be my guess.
Ice says probably just outplayed the armlet toggle, or he messed up the armlet toggle.
Well, and now he's looking for Heen, who just stuck around behind the tower. He's going to get stunned. There will be another chain already, and Heen running around the Rosie.
Ice has suddenly recovered from like a terrible laning stage, which is just what you'd expect.
And they got him. And they are even going to give Ice the last hit. He's already well on his way to his Arcane Boots. They have ruptured FY, and they really need this kill. The fissure won't connect. FY should be going down here. The lift comes out. Good toss. Not good enough. MP getting on the board. That's almost the Midas. But meanwhile, Ember hunting Jerax top. He's carrying a personal
hook
dust.
Shot in mid lane.
But Jerax juked him, and in the meantime, like you said, there's a hook shot on mid. Going on to Fenrir. MP doesn't finish the job, but they do manage to at least try to retreat the Bloodseeker out of this one. The Amber of Howe rotated in. The Clockwork did end up falling there to Super's Leshrac while that was going on, and well, that's not great.
I mean, classic Hot6 game, just chaotic. Fights happening in all 3 lanes, and just trying to keep Vici Gaming just kind of, not so much on tilt, but just trying to play this kind of crazy, unpredictable style, and it works here or there. Like the giving Ice those 2 kills completely negated all the work they've done zoning him out, but it's still very much how they have to play against Vici Gaming. They have to play unpredictable. They have to go for these kind of crazy plays, and
it's just going to be so tough in these later fights when you've got the massive AoE and team fight of Vici, and Hot6 just have a hook shot to initiate. That's really it. Their team fight does not stack up against the Shaker, the AoE. They're going to need to find the pickoffs here, gods.
yeah, and Leshrak is pretty scary in how much farm he's got. It looks like he'll pick up Point Booster now from the side shop, and this is 1k HP on a Leshrak just 9 minutes into the game.
Well, it was obvious there was a hill ward when Clockwork died twice on top of his own hill, and at long last they get the D ward, but it definitely already did its work. Still, hookshot is available here. Maybe make a jump on Ice Ice Ice, Sunbee's thinking. And there is also a haster in here bottom. Can they contest this? This could be big for MVP. Vici Gaming moving into the river. Super's going to try to grab it, but he's thwarted. Sunbee wrangles him in. They immediately look good to him. That makes MP a very happy man as he starts rushing in. They track Fenrir. They can start to mince into him, but Hao's waiting with the chains. Can they focus the Bloodseeker down? They sure can. And there's no Huskar for this fight. He's off farming bottom. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. They do kill the last track, which is certainly nice, but not a track kill. The dive from Forev. Oh, he jumps in with the dunk onto the creep to get in range for the last auto attacks on Ice Ice Ice. That's some creativity there, folks.
Oh, yeah. And a good kind of sequence of events overall for Hot6. Getting the Lesh kill especially. That was Lesh with a dominating streak, and Sunbee kind of making up for some of his earlier game mishaps there by getting that nice initiation, taking the rune away, and
they do have track gold now.
Oh, yeah. So this is where you've got to be careful of your Vici Gaming. I think you want to play kind of a more... They're going to be playing a much more kind of calculated, slow-paced, methodical game where they pick their fights a bit better. They probably want to go back to what they were doing a lot in Game 1, which is using their smokes to find kills as a team, and it seems they are grouping up at bottom lane with FY having a smoke.
Oh, this is a large smoking party, and the Clockwork Rocket didn't actually see the smoke. I think it barely clipped the Earthshaker backing off, but that is not a giveaway. And Sunbee walks right into it. He's got a hook. He does manage to get the cogs off, but that's way too much magic damage. No chance. Cogs are stolen. And with Rubik's Lift, this is a pretty nice spell. He can just pop the cogs and then pull them right back in as they look to focus heroes down.
I'm wondering if Huskar's going to try for the sneaky Roche. It's something...
It's... You're Radiant. It's so risky, but maybe they go for it.
Yeah. You wonder maybe because it's the riskier and less expected it is, the maybe more likely it is to work, but...
We saw it from Cloud9, but you have to be patient with your time. You can't just run in right away.
You kind of got to wait until Vici Gaming feel like they're ahead and have the advantage and they're pushing down towers, and suddenly you just like smoke past everything and sneak your way in there. But at this stage of the game, I don't think it's a risk worth taking. And whoop, Rupture mid.
Silence and no stuns. Something MVP's a bit light on as they stole the Blood Right. That's a big one. Yeah. Level 3, you've got good setup from the Rubik Lift as well as the Fissure. Fissure into Blood Right can really ruin MVP's day. And remember, that is pure damage, which can be a nice tool for dealing with the Huskar. I'll take the tier 1 bottom here. Vici Gaming pulling ahead a bit in terms of gold. It was about dead even with that. MVP, it feels the whole game plan just revolves around 4F. He's the one who's most farmed. He's the one that can go in, but he's got to be patient about it. Find the openings. That's the only way for 4F. And there's your first dunk attempt, but he gets lifted and quickly nuked down, blasted to smithereens. They didn't even need the Blood Right as Heen gets trapped on the wrong side of a fissure, and that's a quick trip back to the fountain for him. Jarek's dusted. He's next. It's 3 dead. Vici are giving no quarter, and they just know where MVP wants to move. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's salt in the wound and they get dewarded mid in a matter of moments.
Yeah. It's tricky as a Husker because this is a hero who often runs around on that super low HP, just armlet toggling around, never healing up to full, or just using whatever little HP regen he has to walk around. And problem is, Rubik Telekinesis, Earthshaker Fissure, and then you just dump the pure damage of Timbersaw on top. That's a dead Husker anytime he gets caught out, and Vici Gaming have the numbers, which they did. In that case, all they needed was Rubik and Timbersaw. That's the worry for Husker, and it feels like he will have to alter his playstyle where he's not constantly just leaving the armlet on like 25% HP, because otherwise he'll just get punished over and over again.
And as the game goes on, they just have to get BKBs. There's really no other way. There's so much magic damage, a lot of pure damage, especially in the case of the Huskar. And if they don't have it, the chances of Forev not getting caught seem very slim, but he is going to jump on Ice Ice Ice. Laguna's there. Does he get off the pure damage combo? Forev, he does. He didn't get to armlet toggle. He's dead again. MP will find 1 kill, but then he loses his move speed. Oh, he finds FY. That's a double. He's got a Rupture now. This could be more. Rupture Super, you might get yourselves 4 kills. He's in trouble. It's Super's turn to run, and although he looks to immolate them down, he won't survive. A brutal overextension from Vici Gaming that they pay for dearly. That, my friends, is almost a 3,600 gold swing.
Maybe it's not the Husker they have to play around. It's just
they
you bait the Husker, I guess.
That's the play there, apparently.
It's very much. I think Vici Gaming are just like, okay, the Husker's the problem here. Once we kill him, we're good. But I mean, Clockwork is. This is the stage of the game where Clockwork can shine. Bloodseeker, well, he can do Bloodseeker things. He's level 11 now, has max Blood Right as well as Thirst. And once you throw all your spells...
Uh-oh. Ice, Ice, Ice. He just used his chain. If they could just hit this stun, he's done for. The silence is there. He chains out of the silence, and he might keep on going. But MP's bringing him low. He's got another chain. He doesn't get it off. Ice, Ice, Ice. Overextending and giving up a freebie as MP goes from having just Treads and Midas, he literally completed them right before that fight, to having suddenly 2 components for a BKB.
You talked about how important BKBs are going to be this game, and MP wasting no time whatsoever going for his. I think that's going to be what Forev goes for. Maybe get some Treads along the way, but there aren't really any big items he needs. Like evasion, not really important here because there aren't that many right-click damage heroes. It's all about the pure damage from the Timbersaw as far as dealing with him. So the only other item which sometimes you see Huskers buy is like a Guardian Greaves, but I don't feel like this is a particularly strong Greaves game.
Maybe you go back for it if you really want to tank up, but yeah, it feels like BKB first for sure. And for now, it's Jerax who picks up the headdress. Not sure if he wants Vlad's or Mech here. We've seen both builds on Bounty Hunter. Oh, they have found Sunbee. Tries to TP out. And, oh, the Fissure barely clipped him. Not sure if they had vision or if that was just prediction. But either way, he gets lifted and dropped. And they will have to forfeit his life as Jerax just watches helplessly from the trees. Heen trying to do a bit of split pushing mid, but he'll need to retreat soon as well. Fenrir's going to have a Fissure soon. And if anybody else is coming, he may end up dying here. It doesn't look like it. By the way, we have not talked about how. And that's good news for Vici because he's got already a Battle Fury Gods. He went Treads, pretty unusual item on Ember. We almost always see the phase boots, and now he's got a completed Battle Fury, so he will be farming rather quickly as this game moves along.
Yeah, I mean, normally, he has been a fairly active Ember Spirit, but by no means the standard kind of go into every fight with phase drums. The Treads Aquila is, and even the Magic Wand gives him good sustain and decent abilities to fight. He's very tanky. It's like you're seeing on 1,1200 HP fairly early on, but doesn't quite have the same uptime as the stats that drums give you. But as a result, he's going to be a much bigger late game threat, and this is a fantastic Battle Fury timing.
It's a quick one. Bloodseeker's BKB nearly complete. MP might end up being the man who has to run in first here. Let's take a look at Forev. What does he have? Just the Ogre Club, so a bit farther off. But if they can get that double BKB, maybe around that 23-minute mark, that could be the opportunity for MVP to just rush in and guns a-blazing, look for a bunch of kills. He'll go back to farming. It seems that's the game plan. They just feel like Forev needs to catch up and, well, not catch up, but more get that next key item for himself.
And even fighting without the Bloodseeker BKB, probably a bad idea, as he'll TP back home from bottom lane and pick it up, it looks like. Ice Ice Ice, you can see the damage up what he offers. Ice 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 is still in a fantastic spot. He's died quite a lot this game. He's also got some key kills on the Husker, but item-wise and level-wise, he's in a solid position. He's well out farming the Clockwork now. He's also a much higher level than the Clockwork, so despite Sunbee's good early start,
big dive by How. He uses smoke to jump in with a Remnant, and then follows up with a nice chains, gets the catch. That's the death of the Lina. They track How, and they hook up. He might end up giving some bonus gold here. The Bloodseeker silence coming out. It connects on 2, and he rushes in with an unexpected BKB, but the Edict damage might be enough to bring him down. He Bloodstone denies, so MP doesn't heal. This leaves Forev a little freer to roam, but there's still some lockdown available, and they're going to commit onto him. Echo Slam there. Everything thrown at the Husk. No armlet toggle for you, sir. 4 fall. If Bloodseeker managed to get that last hit and healed up to nearly full gods, maybe that would have been their fight, but they just didn't get it.
And also just helped out, like, Hal was getting low from the burning spears of the Husker, so healed him back up to full HP, and just across the board, it just gave Vici Gaming that little boost in ability to continue the fight and just outlast MVP. So that was a key fight for them, and it feels like Vici Gaming's lineup is going to scale a lot better. The Husker, I mean, a gimmicky pick by nature to begin with, hasn't really delivered. And he's been completely countered by the Timbersaw and the Lockdown, and that's only going to get worse as time goes on. The BKB timing, I feel like it's not going to be early enough. Vici Gaming by that point will have items like Force Staffs, Glimmer Capes. They can look to just kite him around, wait for the BKB to wear off, and go from there.
He's gone back into a Tranquil Boots, actually, as we'll see a Remnant away. And this is tough to deal with, how just not taking Rupture damage. They don't have that reliable lockdown for him. Tranquil Boots, though.
It's
just feeling like he needs something right now, but it is going to even further delay the BKB and really limit a lot of his damage output as the game progresses.
Yeah, it gives him a little bit of armor against the Sleight of Fist, but I mean, the physical damage hasn't really become a problem yet.
It's the pure damage that's really killing him.
And that's where, I guess it's a bit more movement speed maybe, but overall, yeah, it was just a small spend of money. I feel like Treads maybe would have been a little bit better, but more importantly, just stay on Brown Boots so you have your BKB.
It's like a sign of the times, you know. He goes from dominating the safe lane to, I better buy whatever I can right now. Give me your cheapest wares, Mr. Shopkeeper, because that's all I got money for.
Yeah. So, for MVP.Hot6, they're still kind of somewhat grouped up near this top lane. They want to center things around the Bloodseeker, who does have a completed BKB, create space for Forev to work on his, and for the most part, he is getting that space, farming up the Ancients and now making a move towards the mid lane and the Radiant jungle. But Vici Gaming all across the map, they're farming, they're taking towers. How is just solo pushing a tier 2 bottom.
And the game's a lot slower, and it feels like slower right now is very much to Vici Gaming's liking. Even though there's 31 kills, most of them are on Vici's side. They're the one controlling the tempo. They've got the good aggressive wards up. Vision going their way. They have farm on playmaking supports here, especially FY's Rubik, who, by the way, I did not mention it, stole Rupture, and he's going to immediately Rupture MP bottom lane. Might still get the tower, deny, and he will now go ahead and steal the Blood Rage. Whoa, potentially a big pickup, and Dire actually the one's getting the last hit on the tower.
He puts the Blood Rage on How, who does a ton of damage there, goes for another Sleight of Fist.
That's a scary spell in Ember, because he's invulnerable every time he throws in the Sleight of Fist. They did get the Earthshaker, though. Finally, MVP able to find a pick-off here in the jungle. Man, it feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, it really has. And Husker's a hero who wants to just go from like kill to kill, or at least if he's not finding kills, he wants to be just power farming the jungle, taking Roshan, which he hasn't been able to do at any point in this game, just not feeling comfortable with Hot6's map control and just general pressure that they're applying on the map. And as a result, things have been going more and more toward Vici Gaming's favor.
Sunby grabbing a haster in here, but taking heavy damage from How. Reinforcements could come from the Timber, who's cutting off the path of retreat, and Sunby does end up falling. He tried for the hook to safety, had no target, and drops. Another takedown for Vici Gaming as they sit only at a 2k gold lead despite it all, gods. It doesn't look that bad, but it just feels like Hot6 are completely on the back foot.
Yeah, we'll have to see how things kind of turn when Forev gets the BKB, but you've got 4 stuff already being built on Fenrir, not going for the Blink Dagger. A great item against the Clockwork, of course, and I think just as great against the Husker. It helps himself as well as whichever teammate gets caught. So I think 4 staffs is going to be the name of the game. Even someone like FY, as much as Blink is such a great playmaking item on Rubik, I could see him going for a secondary 4 staff. It's going to be a kind of key item this game for Vici Gaming. Support items, Glimmer Capes, 4 staffs, Blink Daggers are just going to be the name of the game.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
They're waiting. Okay, Timbersaw just TP'd in. They're ready now to deal with him.
Vici are just too quick to respond.
The Radiant Ward sees him, though. This is a valuable ward coming from Hot6.
MP may end up having to blow his BKB here if he doesn't get out. He is moving out. Keeps on hugging the cliff. Meanwhile, Hal moving in. Jumps on the mid lane. Wants to go on Sunby. Remnant forward. There's the Blade Mail. Chains is going to connect. Hal's going to drop quickly to this, but Sunby a bit faster, and with the Sleight of Fist, you don't take the Blade Mail damage. So he survives. The Chains maybe going to come out again as they hunt towards Jerax. Just clear out the creep wave. Track number 2. And there's your Rupture. Hal got to stop running. He wants to get back to the tower first. But MP, he looks to dive this with the BKB available. They get the first kill. I don't think he gets super, though. Forev desperately wanting to join him in the chase, but they can't quite do it. So it's up to Ice to get the hell away, because he suddenly found himself way behind enemy lines. Has no TP for 13 seconds. Can he pull off a classic Ice play? Chains up to the high ground. Looks like he can, God. Somehow he gets out.
All right. No, I guess their lockdown is somewhat lackluster on the MVP.Hot6 side when they're not getting someone with the hookshot and the cogs. Lina stun. There's no setup for a support Lina stun, which is always something you have to worry a little bit about. But Hot6 still making it work. Just the kind of snowball potential of Husker and Bloodseeker within any one given fight has worked out from them for the most part when they've needed it. But
and once they get that double BKB, we may see them just go tower diving like crazy, but that is not a good way to get ready for it. Dives the tower, gets caught by a fissure, just desperately wanted a little more map control for his team, and Forev pays the ultimate price here.
Yes.
Or, sorry, MP. Oh, he could be
done.
next. Yeah. He tries to stun Super, and he jukes the stun, but he still gets fissured, and another lightning's going to come out. I think he's dead anyway. FY self-blood raging just for a little bit of extra Fade Bolt damage. We'll get the kill. Oh, sheesh. These guys can't catch a break. MVP, no mercy from Vici. You took a game off of the Tiger, and it's going to bite you right back.
Yeah, Vici Gaming. Nice little draft here. The Timbersaw so far looking good. Bloodstone up to 10 charges, and now going to work on a Yule Scepter as well to offer his team some more control and just ability to. I mean, you've got so much lockdown already. This is just going to get insane.
So good versus the Bloodseeker silence as well. That's like to me the big way he can maybe die here.
That's a really valuable use for it.
On the side of MVP, I would love to see a Yules on the Lina here just to remove the Ember Flame Guard and also as a good setup for her stun. But, oh, Cherex, so unfortunate. He just walks into a sentry. Super was waiting, calmly lines up the stun.
You've got the Radiant Observer there too, so you're like, okay, this hasn't been dewarded. That means there's no sentries around.
It's literally just out of range.
Of two separate sentries. Like,
oh, sheesh.
I mean, that's life as a bounty hunter. Some games you just get a bit unlucky
Super.
and
he can TP out. Forev can't do this alone. He needs a +1. He's going to go for it now with the Alpha Wolf Super. TP maybe burns to death at the well.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Bottle spamming. Okay.
That was close, though. Ooh. Giving him a bit of a sweat. We'll be fine in the end. Why is a Black King bar dropped? What's going on here, gods?
Oh, you know, just casual BKBs on the ground.
And Heen, yeah. In a bit deep mid. I feel like MVP just starting to get a bit frustrated here. It is the end of the day. It's been a pretty late day. It was supposed to end, what, 3-4 hours ago? So
yeah,
maybe that's a factor here. And with the start Vici's had, it's got to be frustrating. Now the gold lead starts to get out of hand. A 6K gold lead, 8K experience, and Vici into the pit. They are scouted. They have the double BKBs. This could be the moment for MVP. Well, we see the great Age of Steel again. They're coming in without vision, but now they've just been scouted. Jerax leading the way. The Rocket again, giving some sight. Too far to dive on Defender. They're not going to go. They do stop the Roche for now. Gives their Lina time to respawn. And MVP, they'd really love to have that Aegis for themselves. You've got Huskar, Bloodseeker, two heroes that just want to go ham, dive, and then at least have a second life if they overcommit.
Yeah. To me, the big worry here for MVP is, as much as their two main carries, Husker and Bloodseeker, are farming, their items progression is going pretty well, especially for the Bloodseeker. For Vici Gaming, it's all across the board. The supports are getting utility items. You've got the Blink on Rubik, the 4-star from the Earthshaker. For Radiant side, Clockwork has just been struggling. He's 0-9. Heen has just been food this game as well. And even the Bounty Hunter, I mean, a lot of bad luck's kind of come Jerex's way, like we saw at top lane, where he's just getting punished for any kind of aggressive movement he makes on the map. So the three kind of support / off lane hero for MVP, they're not transitioning at all. Whereas Vici Gaming have heroes that are going to continue to be effective as this game drags towards the late game.
It's funny how slow a hasted Bloodseeker looks. He should be so much more impressive, but he's not. Oh, they're going for it, God. Yeah, Smoke into the Roche pit. They have the Ice Armor creep. This should be easy. And Vici Gaming don't even have a clue. They may take the tier 2 top. As long as nobody dies here, this is a big win. Jerax, uh-oh. He's in the danger zone, just hugging the creep wave. But that's an acceptable loss for an Aegis, and it looks like it will be a loss. Shredded. But they get Forev a second life. He doesn't have a TP, though. He's going to have to walk back. And Vici, they may just go high ground through this. They have the BKB on Super. They just completed a Daedalus on Hal.
They spot Husker. They see no
jumping.
TP.
And they're running, and he stopped to even farm the lane mid a little bit. He's got to get back. He's dunked the creeps to just get in as quickly as possible. They even are forced to use the Rupture on Ice, who keeps on running and just dying to Rupture. Now try to TP out any sort of nuke. Zap him, hook him, do something, men. They just can't get the job done. Now they buy back the bounty. That's for naught. FY stealing the hook shot. And everybody looking to make their way out. How gonna jump in and out, and MVP just getting their ankles broken here by Vici.
Yeah, the hook shot, I think, hitting a teammate there, and
that really is frustrating if you're MVP.
yeah, I mean, ultimately they hold. They don't really lose too much. Husker actually got the mid-tier 1 tower, which is a pretty important objective at this point. Like, having a mid-tier 1 tower at 30 minutes in the game is a huge advantage for a team. So,
and they still, it's only a bounty hunter buyback. I mean, let's be real here. As long as he's alive tracking people, that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's not a big deal as far as his economy goes, but it's very much like Vici Gaming controlling the game, being the puppeteers. They're the ones forcing Hot6 around and just kind of toying with them from time to time, it seems. And
I'm afraid of this FY hook shot because he can just hook in, lift if he'd like, and then immediately blink out. It's just a free jump in whenever they want.
Jarek's playing very aggressive once more with his positioning. Oh, they spotted him. They actually spotted it out.
If he guessed right, Super would have just killed him there from full HP. And that, oh, okay, that's a Rubik. Maybe hoping to catch him and then go for the dust if he gets it.
Yeah, if you hit something blind, then you kind of know.
Here comes the real hook, and they are bringing in Jarek's as well. He has the track on Hal, so they see the rotation. And if they see Hal running top, there's probably more. He retracks Hal, so they've only got one hero giving them a bit of sight. But they're sieging with 4Eb, and he has picked up a Reaver. He's getting tankier and tankier. This could be that fight where MVP get out of control.
Yeah, this is where Vici Gaming, I think it's, if you feel like you can get the position you need to take the fight, go for it. But by no means is this like a important tower for them in the big picture of things here. This is a position where a bad fight could very much come their way. An Aegis, Husker, up to 2k total HP. Obviously, he's not going to be sitting there. He doesn't want to be sitting on 2k HP. Otherwise, he's got no attack speed and no Berserker's Blood. But this is a Husker who can cause a lot of problems for them.
They really want to make something happen with this. You could just see it. They keep on sieging in. Super is going to stun, though, and this gives Ice the opening. He's going to throw out the chakram. The heal comes through, and let's go for it! You want to slam, Super? I'm going to jam you down. He jumps in. Look for the armlet toggle. Nothing just yet. He tanks it all. He did commit his BKB, though, and with that, I think he's got to get out. He does have the Aegis, but they can just chain stun him if he's not careful. He goes on FI. That's a track kill. He wants more, and now MP's found his opening straight on Defender, but the Bloodstone keeps him alive a bit longer. Not long enough. That's 3 down. And then, oh, Heen trying to retreat out. Ice will get tracked. This could be another track kill. This is getting out of hand. And Ice also with the Bloodstone deny. He's going to have to give up the GOAT. They all end up crashing out. Actually, the Leshrac didn't even get his off, so that's only one Bloodstone deny there. But Gods, they found the fight. That's a 4.5k gold swing, 3.5k experience, and all of a sudden, Hot6 right back in it.
That's the power of the Aegis. That's just Vici. I think Vici Gaming overconfidence in their ability to just kite the Husker. At some point, like, yeah, okay, you threw a stun, you're chipping away, staying away from him, but he's just like, well, I'll just dive in and die for this kill.
4F jumping in, the dunk gets dodged by Yule Scepter, and he's still going in. He's really feeling like he can take on the world right now, but no Aegis. He does have the heart, but the pure damage is going to make this one very difficult. Heal yourself, my man. Fight! Hook! They try to engage. He dunks over the cogs. He armlet tuggles. It's not enough. FY probably going to immolate to this, but they need more. Bloodseeker running fast as Speedy Gonzalez, but just not quite enough. The BKB, when it's up, makes him God, but when it's down, he is ever so mortal.
Yeah, and it was a really nice life break because he completely got onto the other side of the cog, separated himself from the Timbersaw, but Timbersaw got him with the chakram from like from max range or something. So it looked like a fantastic. I mean, it was a really nice life break. And
oh no, Hal went for the blink dagger, but MP has the BKB TP out. Well, looks like Hal wants to try to show maybe that he too knows how to Ember Spirit, but you got to do more than that, Hal. He's not quite there yet.
Surprised? I thought it was going to go for a Satanic as well. As much as like you love being on low HP, but every now and then you're like really low. You just want to heal up a bit. Popping a Satanic can give you that little bit of invulnerability.
Yeah.
But
I definitely would be surprised if he doesn't get one eventually, especially with the Dominator already picked up. It feels very core on Huskar, but
Itemizing against a Timbersaw is like, there's no item to do with pure damage at this point. I mean, BKB, you could go with what? BKB Refresher, but you don't really get benefit from a Refresher, so.
No, you just got maybe a Hex would be okay. Ideally, he's not the one to get it, though. If you're Huskar, you just want to tank up and let your teammates lock them down while you dish out the heavy damage.
So for MVP, at some point, they're going to need cores outside of the Huskar offering a lot in these fights. And that's what, not even just cores, like someone like Alina, you want to have killer potential coming out from Heen. Alina's a hero who can still scale really well with Ags, with Full Staff, Yules, whatever it may be. So I wouldn't even mind them giving Heen some farm priority because of how important he could be going to the late game.
They got eyes on Ice, but he's rather mobile. He will just calmly chain away, retreat out. They just need to fight more. They really want to, but Vici Gaming keep on fencing around, dodging as much as possible. Vici wants to play the farm game, it feels like. Just continue to pile up items, get to the point where you can survive the Huskar jump long enough to wait out the BKB, to chain stun him, and just play for the late game here.
Yeah, big thing for MVP would be if they could get another Roshan. That was the key to their success in the top lane. Having Aegis on Huskar, that is something they're definitely going to be looking to try and achieve again, which is going to be up in sometime in the next 2 to 5 minutes. So not going to be easy because Vici Gaming are also going to recognize that was their downfall in that top fight. So they're going to be looking to kind of keep eyes on Roshan when it's respawned.
And eyes on Jerax. They've gotten the gem now. And no longer... If you go back to that fight top, they had the track on the Ember, which it felt like was a lot of the reason why the fight works. They saw the Vici rotation. They knew they were burning in the team, and this time around, if he goes for those types of aggressive tracks, he's gonna end up dead.
Well, FY just roaming around his secret shop area, trying to get some D-ward action going, and using the Curry even for vision.
Gonna be disappointed. No wards in the neighborhood. In fact, there's only one ward on the entire map. It's just this solitary defensive observer ward. Sunbee is about to get caught. Oh, this is trouble for the Clockwork. He backs off. They were just begging for him to come in.
Yeah, he's seeing the slide.
In fact, this may actually be good. Sure, Ice is here, but I'm not sure if it's enough.
Ice doesn't offer any like counter gank potential as far as like stuns or.
And the hook shot misses. Sunbee couldn't find it. Needed a hook into a. Actually, I don't know if they have him even then.
Hook LSA. I mean, you can hook and then try and push him with the cogs.
You need to like hook LSA while the LSA is going off, get off the silence, and then you have a chance.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a pretty tough kill. This is where Ember really gave Secret. Was it Secret? Sorry, Cloud9 fits earlier.
Yeah,
because it feels like the way to play Ember right now is you just never let your opponents push, and you're almost impossible to gank, at least with the heroes that are in vogue right now. And if anyone comes on their own, you just start finding these free pickoffs. And it feels like he's copy-pasting what Maybe did earlier.
Yeah, he's so deep on the map, but they just don't have the ability to really lock him in place. The hook shot into an LSA with a cogs is about it, but even then you need damage on top of that. So I'd say it'd take 4 heroes probably to kill him. Maybe they could do it with 3.
It almost feels like they have to get a Hex at some point. Ideally with a Blink or a Force on that same hero.
Maybe something Clockwork can consider. He has completed Aghanim Scepter now back at base.
For now, 4F's just going to walk into the pit. And FY wants to get the hell away. He blinks out.
Yeah, map control around this Roshan pick going to become so important for both these two teams.
And that's what Hal's all about. Sure, he's top, but he just keeps on pushing the lane. MVP have to back, and since Vici or Dire, they're always going to have the easier access into the pit.
Yeah, they do lose some vision there as some Radiant dewarding goes on, but things slowing down now. And Hal, well, he's not just pushing out creep waves. He's actually pressuring a tier 3 tower as an Ember Spirit.
Can they chain stun him? They cog him back. They can't get it.
Very close.
I mean, that just shows you how hard it really is.
Yeah, it's.
I almost feel like they have no choice but to get a Hex.
That was just the right execution. Lina, I mean, it's so hard for... If Lina's already there in position, then Ember Spirit knows Lina's like missing on the map and probably isn't there. So it's only because Lina TP's in, then goes for that full staff play that it was remotely close.
And he's always got a Remnant. Hal just going to TP out now, up to 4.3k. Another Battle Fury, Lincoln's, Boots of Travel. What are you thinking here?
Normally you see like a second Daedalus. Just as the later the game goes, it's very much about just single target hero killing potential, which is going to come more from the crits than the cleave. So second Daedalus is probably going to be his item choice. He's sending the crew to the secret shop now. So
Oh,
we'll
the
see.
hook again. MVP blocking each other. Even though Ice was ruptured, he chained back and still survived. And meanwhile, while that's happening, they know they can go on Heen bottom. They find the easy takedown on the Lina. Now they'll have to back. That hurts. Rubik even stealing the Light Strike array on his way out. I'm feeling for Sunby here. Whether it's miscommunication or just teammates not cooperating, he just keeps on getting blocked.
It's such a tough game with the Hot6 draft. Like, there's not really enough synergy between their heroes. They can't find pickoffs easily. The Ember Spirit just has free reign to split push. I mean, Vici Gaming are never grouped as 5, except when they feel like they have to defend the MVP.Hot6 push like a top lane. And even then, that's kind of when they're weak. At their strongest is when they have Ember Spirit alone top. They're leaving FY bottom, and that's where, like, FY with Soup just backing up the Super Less Strike. They're just having heroes solo push lanes when they feel it's safe. Completely splitting the map, out-farming their opponents, outplaying their opponents.
How? Jumping in. He blinks forward, and he gets hooked, but he's got the Remnant back, and see you later. But guess who's waiting? It's Jarex. He can't kill him.
Yeah, I think this is the fight How wins.
That would be pretty amazing.
That's impressive. Jarex was like, he found the Remnant, but little doesn't matter.
If only he had 4 items right now, then he could go for that.
Goes for the blink north and TP out. Cheeky little pike. MKB, okay. No evasion yet, but he can cancel TPs.
And often something a Bloodseeker and a Huskar will go for.
Yeah. Huskar going for an Aghanim Scepter, actually, wants that short cooldown life break.
I feel like he hasn't been life breaking much this game.
Oh, Bounty he gets found and dusted.
That's what you get for following me. Don't come after me, says How. It's just like you said, Vici Gaming are just completely in control of the movements more than anything. With How constantly parked top with little lockdown for him. I don't know how they do it. Barring a Blink Hex on somebody.
Yeah, they need a lot of items. I think if Lina was really farmed this game, would be looking a little bit. There's a hookshot now. That's the hookshot Sunby's been looking for, and they do pick off Leshrac. It's going to come down to continuing to find these pickoffs. Problem is, it's not even that bad of a scenario. Again, Vici Gaming are still in control. Even when they're having Leshrac get picked off, they take a tier 3 tower top. It's not the ideal scenario, but most of the time they've been making that play. No one's getting picked off.
Oh, he left the base. Vici were smoked, and they punish him.
It's just, again, they're splitting this top and bottom lane attention so well, and MVP.Hot6 just don't really have the resources to deal with it.
And I think I've seen this movie before, gods.
I mean, you've got to just continually force him to fire Remnant back, but you're...
The cooldown's low enough that as long as he only has to use 1 to retreat every time you go on him, he's always going to have 1 available. I feel this wasn't really the Vici Gaming plan when they drafted. You know, it wasn't, okay, we're just going to split push with Ember and stall endlessly. It felt like it was much more like we're just going to dominate them with our 5-man in the mid game, but they just adjusted so nicely after that one team fight that went poorly top. Okay, you're never team fighting us again. We're just going to park our Ember top. The rest of the team will move around the map with aggressive wards up, and we'll get a gem so you don't have vision, and you're just not going to see us until we walk out with 6 items and an Aegis on our Ember.
And like you said, at this point, the only answer is farming a Hex on someone, and that's going to be tricky. Like, who's actually going to be the candidate for it? Lina would not going to be able to get anything of the sort. Lina wants like an Ag Scepter, wants even a Shadow Blade could be great, because that's a way to initiate. Like with a Shadow Blade
They're going in. The Fissure blocks a couple away, though. That's a ballsy hook. Well, it worked for them before. Now the Blood Rage coming out. Oh, well,
they got the silence on How.
They did kill him once, but he's got an Aegis for round number 2. They lift for it. They're going to try to cliff him here. He's got a dunk down anyway. It's not really going to matter. FY trapped within the pit. How has only 1 Remnant, and he's going to use it to get up to the high ground and retreat as the Bloodseeker of MP marches in, wants to finish off Super. The dunk, the chain's done. The BKB were off at the wrong freaking time. 4Ev now is going to get thrashed by the pure damage of Ice if he continues the chase. MVP, they do pop the Aegis. It's not a terrible fight as far as that goes, but
the chase is on.
They just can't kill the Ember or the Leshrac, it feels. At least not twice.
Missed the searing chains on Lina, and it looks like they want to play a bit more cautious.
I don't know if they can deal with 4F. They really need Ice to be the one that bursts him down. He throws out the double chakram, but 4F says, screw it, man. It's time for me to fight. I've been waiting for this moment all game long. Cow, meanwhile, on the run. He just wants to pick off the backside of MVP, and that's Heen on the backside. Quickly dealt with. He's just outmaneuvering them at this point, but there's a hook that finds Ice. He may not be able to get out of here. Has a Yule Scepter ready, and no chains. No chance, but Ember Cleave, not quite enough. Oh, suicide there. Does end up making his way out, and how
has a fire
always
remnant.
has a remnant.
Yep.
He just always has the one remnant he needs.
No.
And zippity-doo-dah. See you later.
He's gone. Well,
his remnant control has been really good this game. I don't think we've seen how once caught without a remnant in a key situation.
Yeah, he's very disciplined play from a very aggressive carry play, but I think he wants to be aggressive, so he's like, okay, the only way I can get away with this is if I play with that safety factor of having the remnant. And he always has it really far back. It's never just like, oh, let's just put it like 1200 range behind where my hero's pushing. It's like, no, let's have it halfway across the map and then go push the lane.
4,000 range. How's that sound?
Yeah. That sounds a bit safer. Buys a boots of travel, so this is going to give him some great global presence. He's constantly kind of teeping back to base, and he can use this just to kind of sustain himself very well.
You know, if only the dunk from Huskar just followed the Ember Spirit all across the map, then you'd have your potential counter, but...
That'd be the solution then.
And a Boots of Travel to pick up. So even more mobility for Hal. We'll start stealing Ancient stacks here. And at this point, can sell the Treads, can get that second Daedalus you mentioned. We saw the Rapier for maybe. Don't know if you really need it as much this game, but we'll find out. Hal engaging onto Sunby. He is going to commit, and see ya.
Can still see the potential of MVP's lamp. I don't feel like they're out of this. The Husker in that last fight was a complete beast. Even when he had like double chakram on him, when he starts at full HP, Ice brought him down to like maybe 2/3 to half HP, and then Leshrac died, support started dying. The Bounty Hunter really benefited the Husker as well, giving him track vision, giving him the extra bit of movement speed, and just helping him kind of lock onto targets. So still potential here, but it's always going to come down to how do you lock down the Ember Spirit ever? How do you stop the split push, which was causing them problems? And it's going to come down to, I mean, farming a Hex, farming a Shadow Blade on Alina, just getting some items to help them deal with it. And I don't know if it can come from 4 of like he's maybe going to consider something like a Hex.
I think it's going to come from Jerax. He's got 2,800 gold in a Void Stone.
Ooh, okay.
And if they get
if
they get Boots of Travel 2 on the Huskar, he can just BOT on top of the Invis Bounty Hunter. They can Hex and they just go. That seems to be the play.
I like the sounds of that.
And potentially even the Bloodseeker could join in eventually. He's up to 4K gold. Then maybe they have their solutions as Hal just starts working on range tracks. He's going to jump away. But I think that could really give them trouble because then the Ember needs a teammate there or he needs sentries everywhere or he's going to get caught.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, 4F is in very deep mid.
Whoa, that's...
He's going in. At Penver, even Ghost Scepter at the dunk. This may end up getting him killed a bit quicker. They try to change them for if the pure damage is strong. He goes in, and he took too much before he BKB'd. Yeah. He will drop. That's a costly pickoff. It puts Hal in a wicked 6 streak, and there's actually no buyback.
Oh, he TP's top immediately. Has the Fire Remnant back at base as well.
It's only Sunby here. The Cog's in a good position, but... this damage is really going to stack up. He forces Sunby almost back to the well already. MP is coming in. Rupture's there. He has a remnant, and Hal is gone again. He is toying with them so beautifully.
Yeah. Lina also died in the middle of the map while a lot of that was going on. Just another Timbersaw kill. So this is where Vici Gaming are just racking up items. Like Ice is about to have an Octarine core as well on Timbersaw. That's actually a huge item. It means just all of your nukes can have a much shorter cooldown, and especially important against the Husker to just keep dishing out that pure damage when he's gotten as tanky as he is.
And now they start looking for X. Vici Gaming, they want their point. They might not get 3 off of Hot6, who looked very mortal coming into this game, but they at least want to walk away with something to show for it. And now 4 are dead at this point. The gem even hits the deck. The Bloodseeker silence only going to barely clip FY, and no chance that this Bloodseeker can go in on his own. He will buy a Basher, a tiny, tiny sliver of lockdown, but already 2 lanes are about to fall. They crash in, working on the tier 3 bottom. This could be instantly 3 melee wrecks gone. 48 minutes in, Vici Gaming starting to really get out of hand here. And they jump in and tank the damage. Sunbi just hooking for all he's worth, but it's not worth a whole hell of a lot. And it's up to 4F. Yule Scepter says, it's not even up to you. We're just retreating now. We'll let the Ember Spirit deal with your backlines. Heen almost dead from a single Slate of Fist as Hao jumps away, continuing to just kite and control MVP. They may back now, but they've gotten what they came for, which is a hell of a lot of damage on the base. 4F with the big dunk, but Fenrir waiting. He goes with the enchant totem. You need to BKB. He can't get it off, and he'll die again without popping it. 2 deaths in a row. I think a creep even got Laguna bladed there by Heen. Either way, doesn't really matter. 4 heroes dead, and GG. MVP.Hot6, hugely impressive in game number 1, and they had their shots here in game 2, gods, but they just weren't quite organized enough to take Vici Gaming down 2-0.
No, this was a unique draft coming out from Hot6, trying to pull out the Husker, and it was fun to watch, but you could just see Vici Gaming like, we can deal with this trick. Game 1, it wasn't really a trick. It was just a solid, super aggressive early game dominant draft. They dominated the lighting stage. And I feel like game 2, they're like, okay, we can't really get the same heroes to do it. The Undying, the Tusk, these heroes were taken away from them. So they went for something else, which they felt like they needed to against a... I mean, you're versing a world-class team in Vici Gaming. I think it's the right kind of idea to go for a pocket pick like of Husker. But Vici Gaming just showing that they can mix things up. The plan with an Ember Spirit is never to use him as that split pusher, which he kind of became at parts of this game. But a solid performance from Vici Gaming, which they needed in game 2.
And for Hot6, they have shown they can take games off the top teams here. It's going to make other teams a little more cautious when they play them, and it's also going to mean that Hot6 should walk away from this match and feel like, you know, today was a pretty good day. We come into the tournament as gigantic underdogs. Sure, we get 2-0'd by CDEC, but CDEC seems to be surging, and more importantly, we show we can hang with the big dogs. Just have to play a little more polished in the early stages of the game and try to get a bit of a bigger lead. So with that, I look forward to seeing more out of Hot6 gods, and that is going to wrap up our day here on stream number 2.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fantastic games here. Just day 1 of the group stage and all kinds of 60-plus minute games, upsets all over the place. No clear, real dominant teams here on day 1. Even Secret dropping a game to Fnatic, a stomp at that. So it's going to be really curious to see how things develop over the next few days here in the group stage.
Well, folks, if you want to see how they develop, you'll just have to tune in tomorrow. We might have a few games still wrapping up on streams 1 and 3, but as for us, we're done. Be sure to follow Gods at BTS Gods on Twitter, myself at LD Dota if you'd like, and of course at Dota2 for all updates on the event. We'll see you tomorrow as the International 2015 continues.